just sharing this. I hope I'm audible. Yes, almost done. Okay, greetings to all of you. Nice to catch up with you at this hour. I know this is a good hour because many people give me this feedback that we are done with all our work, and this is the time we get to are going to sleep or rest, and then this I believe is a very good time. And on YouTube, some of overseas friends are there; they also get to see it. So I think this is the right time. So I'm actually sort of continuing yesterday's. This is all in continuity. Just give me a moment. Let me fix this. So this is all in continuity to our previous talks, and we have been talking about unconditioning. So now a little more I'll go into that. I gave almost like 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, almost like 2 sessions on this, and went too deep into this. People who are very serious about this path and getting overcoming their so-called shortcomings will find it very useful, very useful, and they will benefit a great deal because of the seriousness. Because it all depends on, I told you, our intense desire to be there and get through it. So all those who have this intensity will surely benefit if you just stretch this consistency for a while. But why I'm talking so much on the unconditioning of the mind is because the mind grips you back very easily. The mind grips you back, and doesn't take much time for you to tumble. So shifting into awareness is the opposite of drifting into the mind. So we are beings of the mind. We live in our mind. Our life has all been in the mind all the time. Right from childhood, we have been trained for it. And because we are in the mind, we are beings, we are creatures of habits. We are creatures of compulsions. We are creatures of, we are victims of circumstances because we are mind people. And through this mind, we create all the havoc. All the havoc is created through the mind itself. All that we talk about, all that we complain about, all that we want to liberate ourselves from about is nothing but from the mind itself. Everything is happening on the mind plane, including our struggles to get back to the source. That also happens on the mind. Problems happen on the mind, the solutions happen on the mind. So we are beings, we are creatures of the mind. All that we know is mind, mind, and mind. The whole unconditioning that I'm talking about is to get out of this mind. And until you understand the nature of the mind, how cunning, how powerful this mind is, it is very difficult to get out of it. So the first thing we must have is the awareness of the science of the mind, what the mind is and what's happening to us. Where are we getting stuck? Because until you do not know where are you getting stuck, there is no solution. That is why in spirituality and religion, you see everybody is running around. You ask them, what's happening to you? What are you seeking exactly? They will not know what they are seeking exactly. All that they want is to get rid of problems. Now, where are the problems? Nobody wants to know that. That is why it is said, man hi karta, man hi bhokta. Mind creates, mind experiences, either pleasure or suffering. Mind only does everything. Mind first creates the problem, then experiences the problem and the outcomes of the problem. And all this is happening on the mind level. Everything is on the mind level. Seekers on the path, especially those who are becoming aware, those who want to abide in the self, those who want to know where is their self, those who want to know who they really are, the who am I question, must compulsorily understand the nature of the mind. If you do not understand the nature of the mind, this is going to be another trap for you. You will get into doing here also. In awareness also, the doing mode. Where who's the doer? The mind does it. You have to understand this very clearly. The doer is the mind. The mind makes you feel that I am doing. The mind takes credit for it. The mind owns the doership. That is why when you sleep, when there is no mind, look at yourself. Is there any doer? There is no doer while you are sleeping. And there is no so-called problems also while you are sleeping. All your problems are when you are awake. In the Jagrit Avastha, Jagrit state, there is the waking state of consciousness. Three states of consciousness you have: waking state, sleep state, and the dream state. These three are unconscious patterns of anybody. Any and every human being every day go through these three, 100%. Whether they know it or not, they are constantly, they wake up, Jagrata Avastha. They go to sleep, Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep. Whenever they have dreams, Swapna Avastha. These three, 100% they will have. The one who wakes up and starts knowing about the mind and makes all the efforts to transcend the mind by moving into consciousness, the conscious state, the aware state, the witness state, is the one who can transcend these three states. And that is what makes him or her an extraordinary person. Otherwise, we are just ordinary beings, the same dead, unconscious beings. The whole catch of your life and mukti that we talk, freedom, is freedom from the mind. If you don't understand that, this simple thing, it is very, very difficult, mind you. The path is going to be struggling. Here also you'll struggle. I've seen people going to Tirunamalai also and struggling because mind is active there. There, that tattva, when you go into Arunachala, when you go to Ramana Maharishi's place, that is a place where you drop the mind. That is the place where you become aware of who you really are. But if you take the mind there and you operate the mind there also, it's a big failure. So, Ramana Maharishi's ashram or Arunachala is just like visiting yet another temple that you go, a temple nearby, or to some ashram that you go and come. There are so many ashrams all over India. Have you entered ashrams and seen? I have entered hundreds of them. Go into it and come out of it. Most of it, 98% of the ashrams, you will not find it Jagrat. There is a lot of activities happening there. Some seva is going on, some projects are going on, some prayers are going on, some rituals are going on and on. There are people coming in, visitors coming in and going on and on. New sankalpas taken, new solutions given there, discourses are given, everything is okay, fine, it's fine. But hardly I have not seen any ashrams which help you move into the soul consciousness, the real that you are. Very, I can't even remember one. Despite having been to so many powerful ashrams, even in the north and toward the Himalayas and all that, I haven't seen. There also I have seen a lot of activities of knowledge going on, gyan, a lot of bhakti going on. lot of karma yoga going on, and lot of raj yoga going on, meditation going on, devotion going on, rituals going on, and even wisdom going on, service going on. Everything is happening, activities, all this happening. Hardly I have found any ashram that actually makes you abide in your being. Because this being is another thing and doing is another thing. Anywhere I go, there is only doing and doing and doing and doing. So I couldn't find, perhaps that is why I took almost a lifetime to trace this place called Arunachala. Because as I said, people will only go there after being tired, tired of everything. When you move into your zone of being, then the doing ends. Now you want to just be instead of do. Automatically you'll find those kind of people automatically navigating towards Arunachala, because you go there into Arunachala, you go into that Ramanashram, you'll see all people are that way only. People of silence, people of grace. They walk in silence, they walk in grace, they talk in grace, they sit in grace, they meditate in grace, they look in, even the gaze is graceful, calm, settled. You'll see everyone settled there. Why? The chanchal mind has become nischal there. What is the problem with us? Chanchal mind. All the time restless. Why? Hundreds and thousands of vrittis in the mind. All the time the vrittis are jumping up and down. Whose vrittis? My own vrittis. I have caused it through my own samskaras, my own karmas. Now the stock is lying in the mind. It's not exactly in the mind. It's one step above the mind. It's in the Jnanamaya Kosha. Those who do not know it, it's okay. But there are many layers. We have got four subtle bodies apart from this body. There are other four bodies. One is the Pranamaya Kosha, then is the Manomaya Kosha, then is the Jnanamaya Kosha, and then is the Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha is nothing but you. Satchitananda, blissful you. Anandamaya Kosha. So, apart from that blissful Anandamaya Kosha that you are, that is what we are talking about. Shifting into awareness is moving into that Anandamaya Kosha. From where? From all the other koshas. Why? Because we are present in all the koshas. Our awareness is in our body, Annamaya Kosha. Our awareness is in our prana, when we do pranayam and all that, breath work and all that. And our awareness is on the mind. All the time we are beings of mind. That is what I started this session with. All the time thinkers. And activity from the mind. And of course, above that is the Jnanamaya Kosha, which is your intellectual body. Where is your intellect? And this is supposed to be the place where your karmas are stored. So from the intellectual layer, from the Jnanamaya Kosha, it trickles down into the Manomaya Kosha. There it moves down there, karma. And that is what begins the birth of these vrittis, and they start playing havoc in your mind. So the base of those vrittis are coming from your karmas. And now we are all the time conscious about these four layers. All the time. Our life is in these four layers. Food, eating, food, shelter, sex, everything to maintain this body. Eating, drinking, pleasures of the body, taking care of the body. Yesterday we spoke about immortality of the body, trying to stretch this body and making it immortal. So that what? We can have more vasanas, bhog. You cannot deny that, because until your other koshas are clean, they have these vasanas. That vasanas will come and trickle into your body. So how much ever you pull this body into immortality, the vasanas are going to affect this body anyways. Surely it is going to affect the vasanas. And that is why this body is going to experience that bhoga. And also the mana, the mind is going to experience this. It's full of these vasanas and tendencies. I don't know if it's disturbing to you or anything like that. I'm not sure. Some noise here. Today somebody is entering into a dangerous zone. Somebody is getting married today. Celebration. Celebration too. Several celebration towards havoc. 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला मेला चल रहा है. My friends are there, like minded friends. तो ऐसा बैंड बाजा बारात कहीं दिखे तो कौन बर्बाद हो रहा है आज, दिल सी लाइक दैट. किसकी शादी है, नहीं किसकी बर्बादी है, दिल सी. So all these vasanas makes us go through all these kind of experiences. Every lifetime, same nonsense. Bhog never ends. So if somebody can't wait for next lifetime, they will say, "Give me immortality, so that I can extend this body and this life." तो आके और थोड़ा भोग कर लूंगी, बस इतना ही है. पशुतुल्य जीवन. That's all. So this deep awareness, the people who are very serious are very, very serious about every single vritti that is coming up, every single vasana, they won't spare it. Ruthless. The more faster you want to get out of this nonsense, you have to be ruthless. You cannot be comfortable like a tortoise sitting there inside the water, full of comfort, eating, drinking, merrymaking, pleasures, and drowned in the samsara. And then one corner of your mind is saying, I want moksha. वो इतनी फीबल है, वो आवाज भी नहीं आता. Because my whole mind, my whole body, my being is dancing in this sansarik bhoga. How is that going to happen? It's not going to happen. You're fooling yourself. People in Arunachal also sit and do this. Ah, it's none of my business. But if they come and talk to me and they say this is happening, I point it out. What are you doing? ठीक है, मान लिया आप आपके घर पे हो, उधर हो, देयर, ओके, यू आर अनकॉन्शियस, यू कांट हेल्प इट, योर माइंड इज हेल्पलेस. बट हियर, व्हाट हैव यू कम हियर टू डू? Continue the same thing? Are you come here for bhoga? Only and only bhoga? If you observe very carefully, when we go to even such spiritual places and you see, you'll see that 90% still it's in bhoga, still it's in manomaya kosha only. It's very surprising it is. Some 10% gets in sunk little bit into out of mind. 90%. See, if you're not aware of this basic first thing only, you cannot proceed further. You cannot proceed further. Because the more you are in your mind, you will be in the same delusions. You will be in your attachments, you will be in your vasanas, you will be in all the tendencies that come up all the time. There will be lust, there will be greed, there will be anger, all these things only, attachments. This is the catch of the mind, I'm telling you. It will not spare you. You go anywhere. Any loka also you go. If your mind body has to be there. You cannot leave your mind body and go. After death, only the physical body you leave. अन्नमय कोश. बाकी के 4 शरीर लेके उड़ते हो, उड़न छू. So you as a spirit, as an atma, move around with these 4 koshas, in which the mind body is fully active. So if you are, whatever is happening in your mind right now, don't think that after death it is going to settle down. It will become more awakened now, because all the energy has left the body and it is in these bodies, full of awareness, in that consciously everything will become very active. And when it becomes active, what will happen to that being? It's a merciless kind of a situation, worse situation than here, the victim situation that we face. What you feel so helpless here, if you don't work it out, you're going to feel horribly helpless when you're out of the body. And that time, imagine, this time we have this physical body to do the bhoga, whatever you want, lust, greed, desires, eating, merrymaking, pleasure, everything, the happiness, all the experiences that you can do with this panchendriyas, with this body, suddenly is absent after death. Imagine, we are beings of this body, gross consciousness. How much are we lost in food? How much are we lost in sex? How much are we lost in all the worldly pleasures, the desire for name, fame? How much are we lost in the attachment to this body, attachment through this body into other things, attachment over these possessions? How much? See how it is. How difficult it is right now only to handle. Imagine when you leave the body and you don't have the body. All these vasanas are there now. Now you can do something about it. But then there is no body. Imagine this plight of that being. That is why all the chaos happens. It wants to desperately get into another body to begin fulfilling it, because it cannot think of anything else. Only that those tendencies will be very strong. It will not think about who am I, the self, aware, nothing. Automatically, it will just all the mind is. Just imagine what happens to you when you are overpowered by anger, when you are overpowered by lust, when you are overpowered by greed, when your taste buds are overpowered. Just imagine at that time, koi gyan de, koi ye de, nothing will happen. You will just do it. All these things that are true, you will just do it. And then you might sit thinking. You see that vague, that power that comes in at that time, it shuts down your consciousness. Now imagine without the body, what could be the plight of that? That is why it is said, while living only, work on these aspects of the mind. To work on the aspects of the mind, you have to first know the mind. You cannot ignore here. If you ignore here, you're going to carry it with you wherever you go. That is why awareness, the practice of awareness, is to detach from the mind and begin living a very conscious life, which is not all the time in the mind. I don't say that once you start shifting into awareness, everything in the mind is different. No, you will keep on jumping here and there, but become aware of the jump also. Become aware when you have shifted. Become aware when you have drifted. This is our practice. This is the sadhana that a person does very consciously all the time. Now, how difficult it is. So many times I've been speaking on the mind, the tendencies of the mind. Other parts are not going to easily tell you these things. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure. Because where the doership is there, this is going to be absent. There will be no awareness. Because it's completely gone on the doership. I do this. And who's the doer? The mind does it. Who's the father of the mind? The ego. It's propelled. Mind is propelled by the ego. Why the doer? See, simple funda hai. Ego means what? That's separatedness from the supreme consciousness. I feel separate. I am separate. I am a separate entity. And that is why when I am separate, I have my own personality. I am my own individuality. That is a different individual. This is a different individual. You are a different individual. Everything appears diverse because I have got my individuality. That individuality is called ego, ahankara, nothing else. Simple, that feeling, that experience of separatedness. That's all. So when that separatedness is there, obviously what is going to happen? The doership is going to come because I, the doer, it cannot be something else is doing, because I'm disconnected. Now I have my identity. So I do my thing. I survive. I walk. I do everything. So I take on responsibility and I feel that I am doing everything. That is what we call the individuality, the mind. And the mind is used. The ego uses the mind to operate as a separate individual. Simple funda, if you understand, all dissection I'm giving. Simply you will understand what is the ego and what is all those things. Where is the self? And so when you don't get into doership, the paths always, the doership paths are always do this, do that, all the time. Because there is a separatedness that I need to do something. I have to do something for my moksha, for my liberation. Whereas the other philosophy is opposite one, is that you are already in moksha, you are already liberated. What is catching you? This feeling of separatedness, because you have separated yourself now. And when you separate yourself, you only have to take care of yourself. Who else is going to take care of you? But the ones who are merged with that and are returning back to the source, they loosen their grip on this individuality and they go float more into something higher. So when only me is there, it's free will. When I dissolve my free will, it becomes the divine will. That's called surrender. Simple words of surrender is aligning to something higher than you and trusting that more than this. But that will come with experience. Once you have experience and you say that this will always take a wrong decision, this is not perfect, this can make a lot of mistakes, and this can bring me unconscious, untold sufferings. Once life teaches you again and again, repeatedly, one point comes saturation point where you say enough, and the doership is gone. This one is a faulty being, it's not a perfect being. It will create all kind of problems. So something that created this intelligent being, something has created this intelligent being. How intelligent that must be. So intelligent that must be. Millions of beings like me and all individually be taken care of. I can't take care of myself only. Forget others. So when once people start realizing this, they submit. They submit this ego and I-ness. Only then the doer starts dissolving. Only then from the doing one can move into being. You are just being. Being means you are the way you are. You allow life to take you. You start trusting life. Life means what? Cosmic intelligence. You become more awakened and you realize, you look around and you see the whole world is being taken care of. The birds have been taken care of. Everything is being taken care of. Won't I be taken care of in that? Only when this kind of deep realizations happen, only and only then the doing will stop, the doership will stop, and the mind play will stop. Person who's living all the time in the mind will start leaving the mind and coming more into the being. There will be songs here, no? Nice tamashe wala songs. So I don't know if that is going to disturb you. This is the best example of मैं अकेला मुसीबत नहीं संभाल सकता. I'll share it with the community. आप सब मेरे दुख में शामिल हो जाओ. मेरी बैंड बज रही है. थोड़ा आप भी शामिल हो जाओ. बैंड बज रही है. We live in a crazy world, very crazy world. The mind itself is crazy, first of all. Our own mind is crazy. And such kind of many minds put together, the collective consciousness, it makes everything. Oh, it's not disturbing? Okay, fine. I think it's only, it's coming to me here. The mics are powerful enough because it's very close. I'm feeling like laughing. The lyrics are so much, romantic lyrics. Sure, it's not disturbing you all? I'm going to plug this. नहीं, मैं शामिल नहीं होऊंगा आपके इसमें. Okay. So the mind, no, we are lost in our own minds, and collectively, all the lost minds create a lost world altogether. So it's like, the awakened beings actually crawl out of this. We are all literally crawling out of this mad world, crazy world. See, one simple example. I just put a post right now. ये दर्शन हुए, इसके दर्शन होगा, उसका दर्शन होगा, वो प्रकट हुए, ये प्रकट हुए. कहाँ प्रकट हुए? किधर प्रकट हुए? किसको प्रकट हुए? It is so pride to talk about the supernatural experiences. भगवान प्रकट हुए, साक्षात शिव प्रकट हुए, साक्षात कृष्ण प्रकट हुए. Ashok bhai, you are there, eh? Listen to this background music. Don't tell me, it makes me laugh all the time. मंगता है तो आजा नसिया, नहीं तो मैं ये चली. Today I was in the auto rickshaw and my auto driver was like, नहीं आप गाओ मेरे साथ गाओ. I said, क्या गाया यार तुम, कैसे बकवास गाते हो सब. He will sing all the kind of road songs and all that. I said, okay, ठीक है, आपके साथ गाता हूँ. And then we began singing all these kind of songs in the auto. ठीक है, it is a part of this world also. That's also experiencing, and that's living and making somebody happy. Chalo. When we make so many people happy around us, including our family members, our relatives, our society, our communities, सबको खुशी कर रहे हैं ना. उनके बेहोशी में जी के खुशी तो कर रहे हैं. बीइंग इन एवरीबॉडीज गुड बुक्स, सबके अच्छे अच्छे बुक्स में रहो, किसी का दिल नहीं दुखाना है, किसी को ये नहीं करना है, कुछ नहीं बोलना है, कुछ नहीं करना है. जो कर रहे हो करवा रहे हो, करते जाओ, हम है इसके लिए. तो आई डोंट वांट टू be in anybody's bad books. So when I go into that kind of a phase, I am one among the dead. But there is one way to live again. When you live in awareness, that's what I'm teaching here. To be alive among the dead. So when I sing these kind of songs, does it mean अंदर मेरे पूरे रोम रोम वो उस नशा आ रहा है? These are challenges that you have. Being in there and yet not being in there. Being in the world yet not being affected by it is the biggest challenge. Once you can master this, oh yeah, because only those who can live out of their mind can master this. If you are in your mind, you cannot master this. You will get lost in it. So if I sing with my mind, मंगता है तो आजा नसिया, नहीं तो मैं ये चली. सुनने को आपको थोड़ा ये लगेगा भगत लोगों को थोड़ा इफेक्ट होगा ये, क्योंकि ये भक्ति भगति वाला जगह नहीं है, वेयर डू एंड डोंट है। आप अध्यात्म है, इफ यू आर अ स्पिरिचुअल पर्सन देन यू डोंट डू दिस, यू डोंट डू दैट, यू आर नॉट इनटू दिस छुआछूत एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, ये ऑल नॉनसेंस। छुआछूत तो बाहर होता है, अगर आप हाथ से भी कुछ छू रहे हो, आपका मन, आपका बीइंग छू रहा है क्या, उस आपकी आत्मा छू रही है उस चीज को, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। सो इफ आई एम सिंगिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ अ सॉन्ग एंड अंदर से मेरा पूरा रोम रोम उसके साथ गा रहा है, देन आई एम वन विद दैट। फिर वो प्रभावित होता है मेरे पे, देन ओनली इट कैन अफेक्ट मी दैट सॉन्ग। यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस पर्टिकुलर। बट इफ आई एम डूइंग इट विद अ सेंस ऑफ डिटैचमेंट, doesn't affect me. It doesn't have to affect you. Why should it affect anybody? So everything, that's what we have this false notion that ये करना है वो नहीं करना है, rules ऐसे करो ऐसे मत करो. When we go into rules only, we fall into all the nonsense. We will look at Mahavir Bhagwan and we will remove our clothes and walk naked in the town. Have you understood the tattva? Mahavir Bhagwan, he realized something. After that realization, his clothes fell. He did not throw his clothes away. There's a big difference. So you don't have to do that because somebody did it. Just because it's a fashion, then you say, if I do that kind of a thing, it becomes a fashion. So if somebody is wearing red, I start wearing red. Somebody wears green, I start wearing green. Somebody is all white, I also become all white. Somebody put this way, I also put this way. Somebody put this way, I put this way. Somebody puts a cap, I also put that way. Somebody puts a mala, I also put that way. Because I want to now belong to that. Then I want to say that I am that kind. These are nothing but masks. It won't affect us in any way. Simply masks. How much you are one with it inside is what matters. If I am singing a bhajan, रोम रोम से भजन आना चाहिए, then it's a भजन. अगर मेरा मुख गा रहा है और मैं अंदर से connected नहीं, and how many times, if I sing this kind of a disco song, people might feel offended. I don't care. I will sing more of it. Because I know from where it is coming, and these are tests for me also. When we say, be in the world yet not in the world, we do every kind of nonsense. And what is the big deal in singing this kind of things? First, an awakened, aware being has to throw these things in the gutter, these kind of philosophies. These kind of philosophies make another condition. These are all conditions that we have taken. Unconsciously, we do something. What is the point in this? What is the point in this? We went to an Avadhuta, Avadhut Karnakar Swami, in the Mumbai slums once upon a time when he was in the body. Me and my friends were there. So one of us had great pride in putting the tika, Bhagwa tika, that too, Bhagwa, saffron, and long one, all the time. Wherever we go, the first thing is this is put. Because this is my identity. I belong to so and so community. And I got to now represent that community. So I will walk with that. And this person had come there also. Who are we to tell? Nobody likes listening. So okay, but we know it's all fake. These are only masks. So we had gone to Karnakar Swami and we were all sitting there and everything happened. Then we were taking his darshan and leaving one by one, one by one. So we moved and then this person with this came in front of him and did this. Karnakar Swami looked at him, stared at him, and he said, "ये यहाँ नहीं, यहाँ पहनो पहले, ये इधर नहीं, मीन्स डोंट, दिस शुड नॉट बी पुट हियर, योर तिलक शुड नॉट बी हियर, this should not be put here, wear it here inside, he said. Avdutas, they break all your conditions. We don't impress anybody by doing anything. Whom are we going to, which god are we going to impress? You might impress your god that you believe in. For a Muslim, it is nothing. For a Christian, it is nothing. For a Buddhist, for a Jain, it is nothing. Whichever color you put. Same way, green color you put, green flag you take, it doesn't mean anything for another religion. Same way, if I wear a white cloth and if I'm holding the crucifix in my hand, it impresses only my religion people. The other people, nobody is impressed and nobody is bothered about it. So, how is it that I have so much of reverence? I have so much of fear for my kind of thing. I protect all these external symbols so much and represent it so much when the other person is not even bothered about it, and nothing happens to that person. Nothing happens when I don't believe in that person thing. These are all our mental conditionings created by society. This also must be shed. And all this is where all the conditioning comes from your mind. Somebody has put it in your mind. That is why it is there. Your mind remembers it right from childhood that I have been putting this. I have to put this. एक रीति रिवाज जैसा हो गया. सुबह उठ के मंदिर जाना है, मस्जिद जाना है, गुरुद्वारा जाना है, गिरजाघर जाना है. It has become a habit since childhood, and you are just a victim of that habits. That's nothing to do with spirituality. That's nothing to do with your soul awareness. But the mind believes that a lot of things has been done. And it is in that done, the mental conditioning. That is why that is Sadhguru said. If God appears to you, get done with it. Somebody asked if Shiva comes, then first get done with it, he says. Why he said first done? Because everybody is stuck in that hallucination. Everybody is fantasizing about gods. Because it's a supernatural world. This is the catch of the mind. Supernatural is a mind stuff. It has nothing to do with your consciousness. It is a different mental plane where everything in this plays. Your dreams also play in the same mental plane. The nonsense that you see in the dream all mix up khichdi is no difference from these divine khichadis that you have. They are coming from your vrittis. That is why for a Hindu only Hindu gods appear, for a Christian only Christian gods appear, for a Sikh only Sikh gods appear. Because of the vrittis that is there, that is conditioned with that particular. That is why Sadhguru that day said, these are not, this is not God, but this is your calendar images. Bachpan se we are seeing all this from childhood, all in the calendars, all kind of different gods, and we are fascinated by it. That fascination becomes our vrittis, our samskaras. And the more deeper the samskaras, the more stronger they are, and the more they will represent outside. When you are asleep, they come in the form of dreams. When you are awakened and deepened your experiences, it will come in the form of visions, darshans. So there is a world out there who has great delight in supernatural things. So the run is behind having darshan. So if you do this, God can give you darshan. So the whole motivation is in that. The whole drive of spiritual sadhana only is to get the darshan or to get some glimpse. Why? Because if darshan comes in, then the thing is that you are blessed. You are going to get everything. You get boons. Look in the stories of our history. Look into all the mythology stories. Somebody did penance and God was happy, and then he appeared and then he asked for a boon. What boon do you want? So the whole ideology is for running behind the boon only. The path of awareness, the path of self is completely different from all this. All what I just said is all happening on your mental level. It's a mind level. And what are we speaking here? Moving away from the mind, keeping the mind aside. But if you are not aware of this, if you are not conscious of this, and you get caught up in this again and again, you are strengthening your mind. You are thinking you are becoming aware, but you are doing something else. You're fascinated by all these things. Fascination is a mind game. Awareness, you cannot be fascinated, because the moment you move into awareness, you are not there. The doer, the I is not there. You see, when you get deeper into awareness, the I-ness is gone. With the I, the ego, the mind also goes, disappears. When the I and ego and the mind is not there, who's there to claim it? Who's there to be fascinated by what? This is a different ball game altogether. I don't know how many understand this language, but these are the final stages of your human evolution. What the other things are still there, it's down there, still happening down there. I don't say it's not there. It all happens, but it's all still in the mind game, and it's still not evolved to a certain stage. It's not gone beyond the mind. And if you're a person being caught up in the mind unconsciously, like a hippopotamus resting in the water, cold water, and love to be there, this path is not for you. The path of the self is not for you. What I mean to say, I am no one to qualify anybody or not qualify anybody, but I'm saying this path won't work. Not for you means that you might keep doing a lot of things, but it won't work. There is no difference between what you have already been doing so many times in so many janmas, still continue to do that until you have this realization and the clarity, the discrimination of what I'm talking. Your viveka should discriminate and tell what is this. Somebody was just telling me about Rishi Prabhakarji when we were talking. He said Rishi Prabhakarji told somebody who was very fascinated with these kind of things. He said, if God appears to you, I don't give a shit. The words used. It might be offensive to many. It might be offensive to the fanatics, but this is beyond the fanatics. Fanatism comes in the mind. What is fanatics? Fan. Those who become become fanatics. Who are fans? Those who are fascinated by the external glitters. Another hallucination, another deep aspect of the Maya. They become fans and they become fanatics. For them, this is offensive. When somebody says, a mystic says, if God appears, give it a damn. I don't care a shit, he said. How it might jolt you. This is not about believers. Believers will be offended because they only believe, they don't know. They have not realized God. They believe he's somewhere there or here. We don't know, but he's there. And that God I'm scared of. I'm afraid of that God. So I always do toba toba toba. I don't. You've not understood that tattva itself. And if you have not understood that tattva, where are you heading? You don't know. If you don't know where is that God, you are heading in no direction. You're simply like a belief. You're just moving. And anybody can take you and make you believe this, make you believe that. You'll believe because you have no option. Your Viveka is dead. You cannot understand. You will believe everybody, everything outside except you. You will believe everything outside. And glamour spirituality needs people like this, waiting for people like this to be told what to do, to be brainwashed onto what to do. So, this is not the field of believers. We are mysticism. We are talking about the mysteries, the mystics who have gone beyond all these dimensions of the mind. The mystical mystics, if you see, what all kind of quotes come in there. If you're a keen seeker, you'll keep watch on everything and you'll see. Mystical mystics is not to confuse you, but to expand your awareness and to give you clarity, not to confuse you. Because you'll come to know how not everybody is the same, how all mystics have different experiences and different expressions. From that, you will come to know what is this Param Tattva, the same Tattva in so many ways represented, so many ways, infinite ways it is represented. And everybody has their own realization. No two mystics are alike. No two self realized people are alike. No two people can claim, I had this experience, so you will also have. Or because somebody had, I'm going to have. The guru has had a certain experience, so all we are going to have the same. Impossible. No two beings are alike. And no two persons have got the same kind of self realization, the experience during the realization. All different. Based on so many factors, your karmic factor, your tendencies, your impressions, latent impressions that's lying there. They all come and create a lot of things to give you an experience. So don't believe in your experiences. It's nothing but crap living out itself. Somebody went to my guru once and said, I had this dream, and the dream mein aisa hua, waisa hua. He said, thrash it. He said, your dreams are nothing but thrash. Where are the dreams coming from? From your vittis, from your samskaras. Anything that you cannot express, cannot live completely, all your suppressed emotions, feelings, desires, everything is suppressed. And we put up all these false masks and we continue living in this world so that unexpressed things remain there. And when you are asleep, they come out from the unconscious and express itself in the form of dream so that this energy can be released. If you don't dream, you'll go mad. Do you know that? Check out with science and see. That is why if somebody doesn't have good sleep, they can become lunatics because the pressure is so much building up every time in the unconscious and subconscious, so much that it cannot handle. If this pressure has to be released, you need to sleep. When you sleep, you need to dream. Swapnavastha is that. So all that khichdi is coming out as your dreams. Now we sit dissecting it in many ways. Yes, it can give you a more or less idea of your life because it's coming from your vasanas, your sanskaras. So it has got connection with your past and present and future. All that is there, all fine. But still, it is trash. And the same happens when you go a little bit. What is happening in sleep? In sleep, your conscious mind has gone to sleep. When your conscious mind has gone to sleep, your unconscious becomes awake. Whatever is hidden in that unconscious becomes awake. That is what this swapnavastha. The same thing happens when you meditate. When you close your eyes and sit for meditation, your conscious mind goes down. And what is suppressed or all those things, your vrittis come up, and that turns into so many supernatural experiences, including the darshans that you have. It can be a phenomena, I don't deny it. The darshans, it can be so realistically a phenomena because that's what our minds are capable of doing. Just imagine when you're asleep, there is nothing, you are just a pure witness. Everything is gone. Poof. Whole world is gone. Your samsara is gone. You gone. Who are you also? You don't know. How many people you have got attached to, so many possessions, so many, everything is gone. You are fatherless, you are motherless, you are childless, you are wifeless, husbandless, nothing, no one you are. Just nothing. Your dead body is lying there on the bed. And when you wake up, whole samsara comes into your being. The whole world suddenly comes up. wars going on somewhere, famine going on somewhere, earthquakes going on somewhere, this problem, that problem, water problem, environment problem, everything is going on in this world only when you are in the Jagrata Avastha. When you are in the Nidra Avastha, when you are sleeping, where has all the world gone? It's vanished. That is why it is said, mind is the player of Maya. Maya comes into existence only when the mind is active. Because only when the mind is awake, all this is real. When the mind is asleep, everything is unreal. What exists is you, the being, the real you. You, the pure witness, is the only thing that is present. Now imagine you expand that sleep for 24 hours, you will be the pure witness. Expand that sleep for 48 hours through anesthesia or through some drowsing materials. Expand somebody and let them go into a coma for 30 days. Only the pure witness is there. Their world is gone. There is no samsara for them. And expand it further unto death. World is gone. However long you expand that, till that time there is no world. There is no samsara only. Samsara comes only when the mind awakens. This secret, if you understand, ये आधार है. This is your foundation for this path of self-inquiry and this awareness. This we are going to deal a little bit in deeper sense in the Tiruvannamalai retreat, which is going to be for 3 days. Because that's a Jagristan. It's easier to experience a lot of things there. I'm not talking about the supernatural things. You, I'm talking about the real you, entering into that zone also. So it's a 3-day program, and we have fixed it up. And the dates and all will be revealed to you. I don't want to broadcast anything here. So those who have signed up for that, only for them the dates and time will be sent in by tomorrow evening. So if you have not signed and if you are interested in the Tiruvannamalai retreat, just go to shiftingintoawareness.com/events, and there you will find the form which is there. Fill up in that, click on the Tiruvannamalai thing, and the message, I will know whom to send and whom not to send. A couple of them have already signed up, around 6 of them I can see already. So there are enough place, and everything, the whole thing is included in one 3 days. It's a 3 days package which will include your breakfast and lunch and your accommodation. Only the dinner you're free to choose, because everybody wants to have little freedom in eating whatever they want and all that. That's fine. This, to save time and inconvenience, we are keeping it all in one place. So I will let you know more details about this. Yesterday only we just planned out things. So I believe it's going to be a very deep, because today when I was taking my walk, I had good downloads of what I'm supposed to do for the 12th one. Because till now I had just a brief idea. I was not sure. I was waiting. Okay, let's do it. But today I got a very clear picture of. Immediately I made a note on my mobile of the 12th. 12th one is there, March, 12th March, which from 9 to 5 it is. So with 1 hour break. This is an online webinar, and this is going to deal with what we are talking right now. It is first going to deal with one part, like first 2 hours we are going to be in the mind. We are all the activities of the mind, experiencing our mind and the fakeness, everything. And then the next 2 hours we are going to move from the mind into awareness. That is what I call shifting into awareness. But it will be still intellectual philosophies and this theory part, so that we have very clear understanding of what this is. And then we experiential. Then the next 2 hours will be experiential of what we are talking about. Having an experience of that theory. So practicals and theory. and the last final hours will be in expanding and living that kind of a scenario. So it is all about, it's for even people who do not know anything about it. So it's going to be designed in such a way, you're going to work it out in such a way, but more of experiences and practices, which I'm unable to share in the lives for many reasons, and I don't want to share it here. These are all come with the blessings of Arunachala only. And if possible, if you can be there in Arunachala, very great. So if the 12th will give a very good understanding for everybody, because all that I'm doing is too so vast, all the lives in one topic, it's stretched out so much. There we have concised precisely what we are going to do about. And the deepening of that experience can still happen in Tiruvannamalai. So those were, yeah, Sunita ji. About Arunachala, you can just put it up. If you already put it on the form, don't worry about it. Your email and phone number is there, don't worry about it. You'll just be updated. By tomorrow evening, you will get the whole thing. But keep this information just to you, only the attenders who are attending. Do not spread it out here and there and all. It's only for you guys who are very deepening and who are understanding what we are talking about here. But I would suggest, don't get distracted again in the mind games. So be very sure, if you want to really abide in the self, if you really are very serious to move into the self zone, that is the soul, and not in your mind, if you're very serious about it, then make sure you watch content or read content, something that is related with the soul or the self. Don't again move into all those gymnastics, mind mental gymnastics and physical gymnastics. There again you will get that thing will become very strong. Then again it's a reverse process. So it's like you are taking 2 steps front and 2 steps behind, 2 step front and 2 step, or 2 step front and 1 step behind. And then you say, why am I not moving? That's what I said, these are very serious subjects. If you are very serious about it, then it has to be in that direction, without the mind allowing to play a lot of things. So if you entertain the whole day, a lot of things that entertain your mind, this is not going to work for you. It will not work. So don't be in the notion that, side by side I'll do this. This is not a part-time affair. बोला कल ही बोला, 2 कौड़ी की चीज नहीं है मुक्ति. It is not a 2 penny thing. There is a price to pay. That what is the price? The commitment that you have in whatever you're doing. I'm not saying don't watch this, don't only watch me or something. Go watch everybody. There are so many people who talk about awareness. Go watch Osho, go watch Muji, and see about Ramana's tattvas. Go read and dig more about Nisargadatta Maharaj. Go into texts which are Advaita. Advaita. Go to Adi Shankaracharya is all Advaita philosophy, higher Advaita, deeper Advaitas. Go into things like Ashtavakra Gita. Go deeper into that which talks more about the soul and the consciousness states of Ashtavakra Gita. It talks about the three, what I said, Jagrita Avastha, Sushupti Avastha, Nidra Avastha. It is explaining that. Tripura Rahasya, go into that. Tripura Rahasya, same three, Tripura Rahasya, Rahasya of 3 cities. These 3 cities are nothing but these 3 states of consciousness. Viveka Chudamani, Adi Shankaracharya. Go into such kind of texts. Even videos if you want to watch any number of people who have done it, but be serious on this. Don't go again into mental gymnastics. Don't go into again darshan ho gaye and all that stuff. Then you are getting caught up again in that. Don't go to anything that will boost your aham. मैं इसका भक्त हूँ, मैं सर्वशक्तिमान भक्त हूँ, मैं सर्वशक्तिमान का. There is nothing called Sarvashaktiman. That is all the descendants of the Nirguna, Nirakar. What we are talking here is the nothingness. Nothingness will not have power also. What we are talking about, the Shaktishali Bhagwan and all, is the forms of it. And depending on the requirements of the people, the forms get created and they get strengthened also. I've told this before many times. Priyanka ji, the simple link is shiftingintoawareness.com/events. It's all there in the events. Okay, let me just put it here so that a record remains here. Just give me a second, guys. I think yes. Oh, it's not showing for Tirunamalai. One second. Just give me a moment. I'm not too tech savvy, but I try to do all these things in the best of things, and sometimes I might get. Okay, I will do one thing. I will just. Okay, in that drop in form, what I've done is I am interested in Tiruvannamalai 3-day residential event. Now you'll find it, Priyanka ji. I've added it now. I deliberately removed it because it was, I've just put one line. I'm interested in Tiruvannamalai 3-day residential. So just click that, tick that, and send the form. 2 minutes it takes, and I'll update you after that. No, that's okay, Priyanka ji. So I was saying, listen to the beings who are talking and abiding more in the self, because that is where your aim is, if that is your aim. Not just that, by now if I watch my master at different, it's a different level of understanding, and in that also I find coded message is just a transparent glass. Yeah, if that is, where did I say don't watch your master? Whereas I'm telling you, if you expand your awareness, it's like all those interests will start dissolving. Because there was a time when I was so interested in getting messages and all this. That is because my inbuilt system is not capable to handle. So I depend anybody, any system, anything, even my own master. There is a certain dependency. The dependency stage is gone. I have told this many times. That stage should come because that is freedom. Anything that binds you in this world is bondage. Anything, even God, if it is binding you, it's bondage. That is why for mukti, all those masters said, even if God comes to you, don't give it a damn. Another transparent glass, it is, that's all. It's a catch. It's not going to liberate you. It's another bondage. Anyways, this will be understood only by people who have risen to that level of consciousness, who will understand where you don't even have to tell. Like if you're watching anything, you get the message very clear, and slowly you're watching, your curiosity keeps reducing in the journey, because everything is revealed from within. If everything is shown from within, now tell me, will there be a curiosity to see? Log in here and see, log in there and see what's happening there. Everything is there within. Till then, yes, we got to hang on to, cling on to things, and I do understand there will be still some kind of insecurities. There will always be that insecurities. Till the mind is there, till these things get crushed by itself, it is going to be there. But it must break. That is the liberation. If it doesn't break, And hardly I'm telling you systems, no system is ever going to tell you to break this. Because breaking means losing people. If I tell you to break here, very clearly, it's a very clear risk for me. It's a big risk for me that I will lose followers. Yeah, because if everybody, see, I'm asking you to see this video, that video, here, there. What if you like that person and then you go and listen to that person? No system will tell you, go and watch this, go and watch. Nobody will tell you. I challenge you. Go and find out and tell me who tells that. Go and challenge and tell. Only one system that I ever knew is Pyramid Valley. No system will tell you. Watch this, listen to that. Everybody will tell, listen here. You should only listen here. Shut down everything else, they will tell you. Why they will tell you shut down everything? Insecurity. Who is going to go where? And there, when I was in Pyramid Valley, I remember Patriji used to tell, read books. Read a lot of books. Go into the library. Read books. All the great, we used to say, read Socrates. Read the Socrates of Plato and Socrates. Read Osho used to tell. Read Kabir. In fact, in Pyramid Valley, if you go, there is a Kabir Bhavan where their activities happen. It's a Bhavan named as Kabir Bhavan. Just behind that, you walk 5 minutes, there is a Osho tower. See this? Because what is the purpose? The purpose is whatever you do, get liberated, Baba. That is vested interest when I say get liberated only from here. Or if I say only I can give you that liberation. Or only here you will get liberation. That first of all is false. We all know it. There are thousands of systems in this world and all the thousands work in some or the other way. Anybody saying my system only works, that's false. You know it's not true. But if I know the falseness and still I am fallen for it, who can be blamed? No, that's your individual's wishes. Nobody can say anything about it. But I am telling you the catch. The people who are very serious. See, I am very serious. All my, if I just focus the books that I read and all that, you'll see only this tattva that I'm talking. I am not interested in any other books also. You give me this book, that book, I'll not read it. Anything that is deviating from the self, I will not read it. YouTube also, if I open, I will not listen to anybody's discourse. Anybody's discourse which is deviating from the self, I don't see into it. Anybody's message, anybody's quotes, any master's quotes, which is deviating from the self, I don't see. I've made it that way because that's how I want it. That's what I call my seriousness and commitment. So it all depends on what you want. And only that commitment has helped me a great deal. Otherwise, I would be scattered. See, if I books I can see from here only. Look at that. So you can see I am that. You can see Vivek Chudamani. Rest of the names cannot be seen here. Divine Revolution. It's all Ramana Tattva if you see very carefully. All Ramana's books only. So that's what I mean to say. And the purpose of having this kind of satsang is to keep ourselves always reminded on that. That's the only purpose. Unconditioned and always remain in the attributes of the self. Do not forget it. If you don't want to fall into Maya, stay connected here. Because anytime you don't know when you're going to fall. So people who are connected to these kind of platforms, which is giving a direct introduction to the self itself, nothing else, no compromise on anything else. If you are interested in the journey, if that is your goal, stay connected to that. If something else is your goal, that's your wish. if all the fantasies, if all what you call the siddhis, the powers, and the dimensions, the visions, the supernatural experiences, if you are fascinated by that, go that way. And it's a very big loop. I've been into all that. I've been into all that. I've done everything. And seeing the futility of that, only I'm saying it's not worth it. It's not that I have not had visions. It's not that I have not had experiences. It's not that I have not had supernatural experiences. But it's not worth it because none of it has led me to the soul. It only boosts my ego, that's all. And gives me a thrill and gives me that sense of, okay, I'm doing something. The doership increases there. That's all. And what else can a vision do? What if darshan happens to you? Somebody gives a darshan to you. Any being gives a darshan to you. What's going to happen to you? You think that's your goal, or you got a reward, or you got some motivation? You got stuck in it now, because the moment you have a vision, you'll seek for more visions. Anybody who's fascinated by visions has to seek more visions. That's the lust in it. That's the catch in that maya, that thrill. You think somebody will have one vision and be happy and say, oh, I had, now I don't want. Nobody will say I don't want. Now they will sit to reinvent that or re-experience that. And if they don't get it, they'll be miserable. It will have adverse effect in your spiritual journey. You have one siddhi, till the siddhi is there with you, you are very happy. The day you lose your siddhi or it goes off, you're gone. The same power that gave you happiness once will give you suffering, because all these supernatural things are in duality again. You gain and lose, appear and disappear. All your visions, so-called darshan and all that, is appearance and disappearance. It's not permanently there. It comes and it goes. What comes and goes? Anything that is not real comes and goes. Anything that is not real comes and goes. That is what Ramana said to somebody, Punjaji. He was so much in his pride of having achieved something in spirituality. All the time he was like, Lord Krishna gives, and not even in the mind, in the physicality, comes and gives darshan and goes. So that catches so much. But he went to boast that in front of a wrong person, Ramana, who's not at all in the mental plane, and doesn't encourage anything on the mental plane. So he was unimpressed, and he said, anything that appears will disappear also. And anything that appears and disappears is not real. Catch on to that which is real, which is never appear and disappearing, but is always present. That is you, the soul. I am that. I am that means that is supreme. So that is, and this is the same. But if you take it as two also, only that is Shashvat, only this is Shashvat, eternal. The soul is always there, present. The God is always there, present. Same Tattva only, split. Paramatman and Atman. But he says, catch that, because that is something that is eternal. Anitya nahi hai. Nitya hai. So I'm going by those principles. Don't take anything less than that. So I'm not impressed by these kind of tactics which want to give you a breadcrumbs and tell that, or you have done your practice and this is what you're going to get. You'll get the vision of your Lord. It's nothing less than a siddhi that you're talking about. Siddhis also, powers also come like this. What do you gain by that? The question is that. What do you gain by that? What is the ultimatum? Let's say you had a vision of your favorite god. And you must have had so many times, so many experiences. But what has that experience brought you today to? What did it give you? Nothing but just a hype. That's all it can do. And we might like to boast it to 10 people. That's all. And whenever we boast, we feel a little more pride. That's all it can give, nothing more than that. So it has added on another vasana, another samskara. Worth it? Not worth it for seekers of liberation. So here I don't want to stress this, because it's like I'm sitting here talking university stuff in a kindergarten class. It seems like that. No. So if we are talking something about the university, then our thoughts, our actions, our behaviors, our life, our attitude, our personalities, our lifestyles, everything should be university level. Should not be like those kids who can then. Kids cannot be given extra attention. So be very careful on these things. Very, very, very careful. Very, very much aware, conscious of all these things. Every time, only one who's not conscious will fall for all these things, because you don't know when you skipped and when you got carried away from all this. And purposely I put that Hindi post just now before coming live. I am 100% sure of what I'm speaking. I am crystal clear about what I say, and all the tattvas I am clear. I am using these platforms only to convey to people who are not yet clear. But if you still are living in the mind, then these you're going to get carried away, and there are no results going to come. So it's just for a genuine reason that I see your struggles, I'm seeing your desperation, I'm seeing in the path. And in that desperation and interest that I see, from there only this advice is coming. Be little more aware of what you seek and abide more in that of what you want, than getting distracted and walking two steps forward and one step behind. Another thing, good point that came, is desperation. Do not get desperate. This I'm talking to people who are living mostly in the world, who have families, who have responsibilities, and all that. One simple thing I'm telling you, because today's I'm talking of simple ways of shifting into awareness and living in awareness. One simple thing is, don't get desperate. Desperate means impatience. You have a life and then you see, oh, everybody, everything is going so fast, and where am I? I'm stuck in my family, I'm stuck in so many things. I can't go out, I can't do this, I can't do that. And here, when I open my mobile and I look into all these people, and all are doing so many things, everybody is going somewhere, and I am stuck in my world. Suddenly a sense of urgency will come, a sense of despair and despondency, and a certain desperation will come. Then you become desperate. Be very mindful of that. Watch that thing. You got to catch that, because if you don't catch that, it will take you into desperateness. And that desperateness is something like, you will end up doing anything and everything just to get there. It's an unconscious behavior. That's not true. That's desperateness. You will watch all the programs, you will attend all the shibirs, you will attend all the events, you will book and register for every event, you will read all the books, you will gobble up all the videos on YouTube, you will visit all the ashrams, you will do everything in desperation. That's the moment that kind of feeling comes, understand there is a desperateness that is coming. Whereas I'm telling you, it's very simple. Shifting into awareness is just teaching you to just be aware of your life wherever you are, in whichever incomplete phase you are. You feel that you are, nobody's incomplete. It is a feeling. I told you that's that same fickle minded mind game that makes you, that gives you that feeling that you are incomplete and you need something to make complete, and that need to make it complete is what brings that desperateness and that running about. Something makes you feel that I'm not complete yet. So the whole run is to make myself feel complete. Be very much aware of this particular thing of the mind. इतना सूक्ष्म है आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा. You'll not even know. Very subtle it is. And it will all look goody goody. It's not goody goody. Anything that is not allowing you to settle in your present moment is gadbad. I can tell you in this manner. Anything that is not making you still down is your mind play. Anything that makes you jittery and restless is your mind's play. Immediately become aware of it and shift into awareness. I'll tell you how to shift into awareness. Simple things. And you'll see the moment you move into awareness, that whole drama of the mind will drop there and then it's at that time only. But important is to catch it at the right time before you get carried away in that. Because what use it is if I read all the books, if I go to all the places, if I do all the things, but I am not practicing that. The whole catch is in that. See how simple thing these are. The mind is very powerful. I am unable to get into my awareness, so I need a Jagrus place. So I go to some Jagrus place. Let's say Tiruvannamalai. I go to Tiruvannamalai. Now I can become settled there because here it's a noisy world. It's too many things. And I go to Tiruvannamalai. But in Tiruvannamalai, when I reach, my mind takes over so much with the old tendency and old habit. It will make you feel comfortable there also. It will take you through the same zones of habits that you have been doing here in the city. It will fall in for all the same things and tendencies, and before knowing, you will have spent all your days there without having done the actual thing. So what was left incomplete, what you felt is incomplete, now you went to some place to complete it. You go there, you don't do it there also. Then you come back home and then again you feel that something is incomplete. Something is incomplete. So there will be urge to go again or do again something. Go to some other place or do something for this, read another book or take up something or listen to something will be there, but still you will see that you are not practicing that which you are running for. See how big is that catches. That is the most subtle thing that can skip if you are not observant. So I'm telling you a big sutra today. If you catch it properly, your life can change. If at all, I'm saying, if you want to become aware of something, if you want to become aware of something, even before you want to become aware of yourself and all that, वो तो बाद में आता है. Keep yourself constantly aware of your practice. Am I doing the practice or not? That's all. If you call that practice as too tedious, then am I in awareness or not? Just this question should be always in your mind. Am I in awareness or not? Because if you are not in awareness, because if you are not practicing, you are not going to be in awareness. If you are not in awareness, then you will do the same things despite having all the philosophy. So the catch is to practice at least deliberately. Put efforts, no problem. In the start, you put efforts. And when you start feeling and experiencing that awareness, the beauty of that, you will automatically be motivated, and slowly that will become your habit. I say the practitioners who have been looking into this platform or practicing this, even once if you have practiced or experienced a little also, your practice should be such a way that every moment you should be aware. There should be no moment that you're not aware. So your goal should be something like, today, when I've got up and I'm going out or doing my work, I will make all the conscious effort, I'm put effort, be the doer, no problem. Make all the conscious effort to see to it that I'm aware as much as possible. Make this sankalpa every day. There's nothing is going to go wrong. You'll see then the intervals of awareness will start increasing. Previously, morning you got up, you were little aware, and then you went out, and till afternoon you were unconscious, you lived everything, you fought with somebody, this happened, that happened. Suddenly you become aware. Then you come into awareness for some time, and then slowly it seeps out again. Then again at 4 o'clock you become aware. Then after that, straight 9:30 in the night you're becoming. So 3, 4 times you become aware. Expand that. When you take a sankalp in the morning, I'll be as much aware as possible today. You'll see to it that your subconscious, your conscious of mind also will support you in that. And it's all about just reminding yourself to become aware. Because the moment you become aware and you even do the shifting, which I'll just tell you in a few minutes, you can do it. The moment you shift into that awareness, the mind drops. So this should become a habit of your being till it becomes a validation very strong to your subconscious mind. Once it becomes a validation, it's automatic. Then you don't have to think to get into awareness. You become aware all the time. These practices are a little intense also, which I'd like to share in the March 12th event, the webinar that I'm doing on March 12th Sunday. There I'll share all these 2 to 3 different kind of practices where constantly there is a certain kind of awareness, and you'll see a certain kind of energy built up and some conscious movements happening and all those things, if you do that kind of a practice. And that should be expanded more and more till it reaches the self-awareness. Don't try to do the self-awareness immediately. You try if you want, but I don't find it's going to suit. Directly going into whom am I, it's very difficult. First you must have mastery over your gross experiences, gross awareness. You, the being, I, the being, the separate being, the individual being, I, the false I, should also become aware of this and realize that I'm not this false I, I'm something else. I don't know what is that something else, but I'm something else, but I'm not this body, I can see this. That experience should happen, and it will happen in the gross awareness. When that becomes a little stable, then it's easy to experience your higher bodies. And what happens there? The experiences that you get when you go into your higher bodies. So now from the gross, you're tapping into the subtle. Then you move outside more deeper into the subtlest things outside of you. Till now, it is in my body, around my body. Now it's completely all around, everywhere. So when you go and have a little stability on that, then you sit and find out who you are, who am I. Very easy. Because by now you have an experience that you are not the body. You will have a profound experience and experiential knowledge that I am not this, what I think I am. I'm something else. Then it becomes easy. So that's what my attempt is on March 12th, to share those kind of practices which can take you a little more, make you a little more stable. And then if you want to go deeper and inquire into the self, Tiruvannamalai is the best place. So these 2 things I'm looking forward to, March 12 and March end or April 1st or 2nd. That way it will come like this, or first week, somewhere like that. I'll confirm that. So I saw somebody's message here. It's not still working. I think it's working. You just refresh, Priyanka ji. You just refresh the page and it should come. Kannu bhai, now there is no more thirst as soon as I become ocean. अच्छी बात है. Tina, very true, bhaiya. I used to be afraid to visit a lot of places. Once I returned from Tirunamala, I experienced that stillness, and for a change, I'm not making any plans. Good enough. Good enough. I'm just saying, I don't, I did not mean that it is not right to go anywhere, because in that case, I travel so much. I keep on traveling, but I'm not hunting anything anywhere. I've got some very beautiful, deliberate purposes, and the reason I chose to go often to Tirunamala is to only deepen my experience with the self. There is nothing else that I want. Everything else I'm experiencing. It's only deepening that experience of the self. Because I know that's a Jagrat place, which I don't think any other place, this place where I'm sitting also may give me, but to a certain extent. But what's wrong in taking the support of a Jagrat place? And Jagrat Shiva Tattva, that is experiencing Shiva, not having visions of Shiva. Actual Nirguna Nirakara, if he is there in that form, the Tattva, if you want to experience, experiencing Shiva is another thing, and seeing Shiva is another thing. Seeing is darshan and visual treats. Okay, Priyanka ji, you just send me a mail. Don't worry, I'll take care of that. Just I'll check out what went wrong. Oh, I think just 1 second. I think you have to just type after that March 12. You'll go directly into that. Okay, you just send a mail for now. I'll just see. I need 5 minutes, so I don't want to get now and we're working on that. I told you it's a one-man show, so it's a little difficult for me, but it's manageable. Everything, right from the website to the forms to the collection of it and to the responses to the WhatsApps, everything and all that. Sometimes my friends help me. That's another thing, but then that's okay. So bear with me, please. It's a one-man activity going on here for some time. But I'm so grateful and I feel blessed that even though I'm alone, I don't feel alone. Never feel alone. Things just happen. Everything comes in. Very beautifully it comes in. And so I'm very happy to share that. So I was talking about the movement into that awareness, the shifting into awareness. The moment you become aware that you got lost, I told you, just keep reminding yourself, the thing should always be, that sankalpa should always be that today, as much as possible, I expand my awareness, become aware and expand my awareness. So the more I do that, the more I see myself catching myself when I'm getting lost. And one way to do that is immediately bring your attention into some part of your body, which I've taught many times. Most simplest way. You might think, what does that got to do with this? But it has a great deal. Even if you just bring your attention to your thumb, one thumb also, it will be a great deal. Great, 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 great help. And the moment you become aware of that part of your body completely for that moment, for just a few moments, you'll see that suddenly you have moved away from the catch of that mind. Just give me a moment. The people who have already known about your koshas, if you are aware of your koshas, it's very easy for you to do it. If you do not know it, no problem. Whenever I'm teaching, I'll teach that. If you just become aware of even your pranamaya kosha, just for that moment, just one moment. Just for a moment, also, if you can do that, suddenly the mind gets suspended. And when the mind gets suspended, you are disconnected from being carried away by your mind vasanas. And it takes only just 1 minute, not even 1 minute. You do that, and then when you come back, you are already in an altered state of your consciousness. You are no more what you were just 1 minute back. Suddenly there is a shift that has happened when you shift into awareness. And then you might see again, you might lose that as the day goes on. And then again, a moment comes like this. If you become aware at that moment, you shift. This is one way that you do it. That whenever your mind is drifting or your being is drifting into your mind, you catch that and shift into awareness, or you can make it a very periodic practice. Something like every 1 hour or every half an hour. Just consciously shift into that awareness for just 1 minute. 1 minute, that's it. Every half an hour, imagine you doing it. The consistency will start expanding, and you will drop and cut off from the mind immediately. Immediately, that will happen. Like even for now, simpler things like not even shifting into your body, just becoming aware of your surrounding will completely shift you. Like right now, I'm talking to you. Just become aware of my voice and become aware of anything else also that you can hear, not just my voice, whatever you can hear. You might say there is no noise, don't believe it. Mind will say there is nothing else, don't believe it. There is always something happening, even some minute noise. Do it while listening to me. Why am I saying while listening to me? Because you are all the time doing some work. You cannot be idle. You are always doing some work in the world. I'm talking to people who are in the family. You might be taking care of your child, you might be cooking, you might be walking, you might be talking, you might be working, you might be doing all the small tasks, you might be doing a project, you might be doing a homework, whatever it is. You're doing something all the time. But while doing, continue doing, but become aware of this. Like you're listening to my voice, you're listening to everything. It's not that you're missing out anything. You can hear everything that I'm saying, but you are also catching up something else simultaneously. And when you catch up something simultaneously, a certain shift already begins happening. You'll notice that. Even right now, it's happening. You are there, you're listening to my voice also, but you are all the same time now attentive about other sounds. So you keep hearing the other sounds also. Catch even the minutest of sounds, however far it is. If you say there is really silence, become aware of the silence. Become aware of the sound of the silence. That's all you got to do. Suddenly you will disconnect from wherever your mind is carrying. See, right now, just 1 minute, last 1 minute, you are not in your mind. There is thoughts will go blank, or it will be very, very less compared to what it was before. And suddenly you will see that you are not only listening to my voice, but you have become attentive somewhere else. Your consciousness has expanded. Previously, it was only minutely listening to my voice. Now, with my voice, it is hearing something. Very simple ways to shift into awareness. You can do this by doing anything. And you'll see that whenever you do this, suddenly your body will become calm. Your talk will become very slow. Even if you want, you can't. Last time we were sitting in Tirunamalai, and there was this lady from UK. First time we met, and she wanted to have some experiential knowledge about something, about this awareness things, and a lot of questions. But I said to Tark, how can this happen? How can that happen? This is going on debate, talking, and sometimes saying okay, sometimes saying no, I don't agree with that, and talking. I talked about awareness and just took into awareness. Suddenly, everything I said, I have not given you any command. Talking, suddenly her eyes closed, her spine became straight, and her breathing became normal, and everything and all that. So, for the next 2 to 5 minutes, I just continued going more deeper into that awareness. And she went very deep. In that 5 minutes, she was having this jerks, like, when you get sleep within 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, when I asked, open your eyes whenever it's comfortable, they were all not able to open it. It took some time for them to drag out of it. Just 5 minute thing. And after that, I continued talking. She also continued talking, but suddenly it was like intoxicated words. Very slow, the words are coming. Slurred words are coming. And she said, I am not able to talk. I'm not able to talk. What has happened? When you move into an altered state of consciousness, your bodily activity goes off. The stress and the focus on all these five indriyas that we all the time give just settles down without you giving a command. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You never even will say, I want to close my eyes, or I let me straighten my spine, let me take care of my breath. Something takes over. That awareness is the constant consciousness. cosmic intelligence, which knows much better how life should run. But till I have the doership, I run my life. I will breathe wrongly. I will do things wrongly. I will talk haphazardly. I will be misaligned because I am running my life. The moment my surrender, the I goes off, just even in 2 minutes, I let go of my surrender. Suddenly, some other intelligence takes over me. That intelligence is what makes my breathing normal, makes my spine straight, makes my eyes close and go deep. Which is better? The I doing is better, or the intelligence, cosmic intelligence doing is better? Always that is better and safe, because that knows what to do at the right time. It just knows what to do at the right time. We do not know what to do at all times. So we end up doing all the wrong stuff. Our decisions that we make in life, we are responsible for it. We make a decision, we bear the consequences. So the one that feels this should be taken a decision is the one who is suffering the consequences. Whereas the one who is connected with the divine will, eventually, I'm not saying immediately, gradually as they get connected, slowly and slowly the free will loses its grip, the divine will takes over. That is what runs the show. Till now I run the show, and that is why I get exhausted. People tell me I don't get time, I get too tired. From morning to evening I'm running around. You're running around good, you're doing around good, but you're doing it unconsciously. If you do the same things in a state of awareness, you will see there is big energy. This is what I want to even demonstrate. If the walk happens in Tiruvannamalai, that if in a certain state of awareness you start walking, there will be no tiredness. You don't have to even stop for a while to rest. It will be continuous walk, gradual, gracefully. No talks, nothing. You're in a state of awareness. There, the prana automatically starts working. When you lose the doership, something takes you. That's the whole practice all about. We walked the whole night in Girivalam, not a wink of sleep. Nobody was tired. Till morning 4 a.m. we were walking. Night 9 o'clock we began till 4 a.m. Almost like 6-7 hours. Nobody's tired. Why? You try doing even 1 kilometers around the house in your community. You'll be dead tired. It all matters. State of awareness. There is the hill itself is awake and alert and conscious. And when you are conscious, you merge with it. It happens. Simple practices. Other practices, instead of listening, you suddenly expand your eyes, and instead of focusing on one thing, you are now, I've taught this many times also. You shift into peripheral vision. Suddenly you become aware of everything. You can do it right now also. You're not just, till now you're only watching me, you are not aware ki in the side there are so many things you are not aware, but now you'll become aware. Suddenly you'll see there are things in the side. You don't have to look aside, look just only straight at one point only, but from the side vision you see, peripheral vision you see, so many things are there, and just try to become aware of it while you are watching me. So there is no distraction, you are still continuing doing your work. That is what I want to tell you. The work is not stopping. The other meditation is what? I stop all my work and go close my eyes, shut the door, and go into meditation. So the work stops. Here I'm saying, though, let the work continue. There will be no complaint of I don't have time. Whatever you do, you're watching TV, watch everything around you. You're sitting, you watch everything around you. You're in the kitchen, you're cooking, keep a peripheral vision around you. If possible, even listen to the sounds around you. These are altered states. These are not in the state of. Don't do this in driving only. Okay, very, very important. Don't do this stuff while driving. It's not right. It's not good to do that. So these are very, very simple tricks. You can see suddenly your mind will quieten down. It will become, suddenly you might even have sleep jerks. You'll go into sleep also suddenly. That is what you can do if you awaken your consciousness. Very, very important to awaken the consciousness, because if you are a conscious being, anybody around you also will experience it. What I am saying here does not come by speech. If it was just by speech, then, or just by thinking, it doesn't happen. Somebody has to be already in a state of awareness. Then it becomes easier. That is how these live sessions also work. It's not happening because of somebody saying or somebody's speech, somebody's talk. It is a state of awareness, contagious. This all comes from that commitment to what I'm talking here about. If you want to have those kind of experiences, you should be very committed to what I'm talking about. The lesser the distraction, the more powerful your awareness becomes. You have tens and thousands of things in the world to do, you're gone. I've experimented with all these things. The more I get distracted into any other thing apart from this work of mine, whole thing goes for a toss. Multiple times I've seen in this past 2 years, anytime I take on something else, my work stops. It can't proceed. I used to think, why does this happen? If I get into any of my personal interests or anything that is coming from a personal vasana tendency or something, if I am doing that, why does this whole work stop? Then I realize this work is all about awareness, and that is all about the mind. And as I told you very clearly, you are either in your mind or in awareness. You cannot be in both. So, whenever I do any activity that is mind related, the awareness quality goes down. And anytime I am more in awareness, and when can I be in awareness? When I'm less in worldly activities. I must make this clear. When I say mental activity, it is worldly activities. Now you might say, no, I have this, I have that, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. Yes, you must set your priorities first. You must set your priorities first. It all depends. I have told this many times. It depends on what do you want in life. What is your priority in life? If world is your priority, then that you shall get. But I am talking about a transitioning period from the worldly to the spiritual, from the gross to the subtle. So while I'm in the gross and I'm moving to the subtle, I don't have to leave anything and ditch everything. I continue doing whatever is in the gross, but I increase my subtle attributes in that. Means I'm doing some physical activity, but I'm not doing it grossly, that physical activity. I'm becoming more subtle, more conscious, more aware, and doing that physical activity just like what I told you right now. You're listening to me, you're seeing me. That's a gross activity. But if you're listening to me and you're listening to the sound around you, you're adding subtle activity in that. When you're seeing me and you're seeing also peripherally, you are multitasking now. You are adding more subtlety into it. If you're seeing and listening extra everything, you are doubled that, deepened that awareness, and it goes on. There are many other aspects also that I can keep including, like the smell, for example. If I become aware of my smell also on this, you'll say there is no smell, but I will say become aware of that no smell also. Just like I told you, become aware of no noise or no sound, or become aware of silence. This is what is deepening that experience. The more you do these kind of activities, and when can you do these activities? When you are finished off with all your worldly dramas. The more you are stuck in your vasanas, your passions, your desires, abhi ye karna hai, abhi wo karna hai, aise karna hai, wo karna hai, difficult. That is why the Chidakasha stays. Without reaching a state of desirelessness, it's not possible. Without reaching a state of vairagya, it's not possible. This is what it means. Because if you don't have vairagya, your fingers will and toes will be in the world, samsara, doing a lot of other things. If you don't have detachment, you are going to be connected to each and everything, and you are going to be affected by each and everything. You hook on to someone or something, and then you are affected constantly, day and night, with that. So whenever I get affected by any people, I cannot be in awareness, because the mind will take over, vasanas will take over, the ego will take over. So then it's upon me. I decide what do I want, because the kind of responsibility that I have, I cannot afford to do that. Whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm delivering, I cannot afford to do that. So it's me, for me to choose what I want. I can have only one thing at a time. Either I have desires or desirelessness. Either I have attachment or I have vairagya. I cannot have both. It's nonsense. It doesn't work that way. Either I am in the mind or I am in awareness. Only one thing at a time. Every moment I'm choosing what I want, depending on what is my life agenda, depending on what are my vasanas that is left. That is the reason I'm stressing so much on unconditioning, because if you are not unconditioned, if you are still with all those rigid beliefs, customs, traditions, all those tendencies, all the habits, the passions, the desires, and everything, is very difficult. First step is to uncondition, because with unconditioning you become empty. When you are empty, you have a lot of space for awareness. You have a lot of things to focus on, which is your main priority of life. Otherwise, those tendencies and samskaras will pull you in that direction and make you focus there only. And then you'll sit complaining, I have this, I have that. There's no point complaining. You have to sit and re-look at things. What do you want in life? You might say, how is that possible? I have a family. I'm not asking you quit the family. I'm saying about the transition from desires to desirelessness. There is a gap here. I'm not saying jump from here to here. I'm saying move from here to here. As you move, this awareness part becomes more and more, gross becomes lesser and lesser. This is what I mean, little by little unconditioning. So you don't have to actually walk towards awareness. If you uncondition, this weight that is holding you behind will start loosening you towards that automatically. It is these weights that is catching you, these conditions are catching you, these systems, these belief systems. Too much overload that won't allow you to go ahead. That is why this practice should be simultaneous. All the time I'm trying to practice as much as possible, staying in awareness, and at the same time unconditioning everything, not sparing anything. In my practice of awareness only, when I am becoming aware and aware only, I notice these conditions. It happens same You don't have to do two things separately. When you are aware, you will automatically notice the conditions. At that moment, you should have enough sharp awareness to drop it, what is not meant for you. If you develop that kind of habit, slowly you will see over a period of time, a lot of things will just go out of your life which is not meant for you, which is pulling you, keeping you back. With this awareness, even if you are used to doing anything, any practice you are doing in the doership mode, do. But then become aware, like I'm saying, do watch, do listen, but at the same time become aware of everything. Same way, if you're doing your sadhana, do your sadhana, but be aware of everything. Be aware of everything that's happening in your body, outside your body, within your body, as a drishta. Careful. Because if you're aware of something and then you get carried away by it, like in your deep meditation, you see some vision and you get carried away with it, you're God. That's not awareness. You see a vision, you see everything happening, but you're a drishta. You're witnessing everything. Everything you're witnessing. Kriyas are happening. You're neither encouraging them nor discouraging them. You're allowing it to happen, whatever is happening, by just watching it. Drishta. That's awareness. So nobody is asking to stop anything. Continue the same thing, but you do it in complete awareness. Whatever. If you are used to doing it, if you are not used, that's another story. But if you are too, because that's also vasana. Doing also is a vasana. Anything and everything is a vasana. There's nothing that is not a vasana. Anything that makes you do anything is a vasana. Even doing your practice is a vasana. Even when I'm saying practice, this also is a vasana. But these vasanas are powerful vasanas which will help overcome the other vasanas. That's how it goes. So कांटे से कांटा निकलता है. A thorn is removed by a thorn. That's the whole thing about. Do you have any question? Today even my voice went very calm. You move into awareness, this is what happens. Any questions today, Devans? Simple techniques these are. Very simple techniques. If you practice it consistently, you'll see major difference. Don't take, अरे 2 मिनट का इससे क्या होने वाला? You don't know. Don't underestimate this. Like I told you, the lady whom we are sitting and we were doing just 5 minutes we did. This is on the Girivalam day only. And after that she was zonked. 5 minutes episode, and after that, that thing, that intoxication is still there. And while we are doing the Girivalam also, so many talks were happening before about beliefs. This is what, मैं तो ऐसे मानती हूँ, मुझे तो इतना ही पता है, मुझे ये नहीं पता, मैं इस चीज को नहीं मानती, मैं all these things. Suddenly all this, why I'm asking her, where is all your मान्यता वन? You were talking about मैं ये मानती हूँ, you were telling, I don't know, ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे पत्थर मारा किसी ने यहाँ पे. Somebody knocked and कुछ हिल गया चीजें अंदर से. That's the both that happens, it awakens you to something, because some things is because of manyata we don't see, and ये जानने का भाव से it opens up. Is everybody asleep? इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है? Are we live? Or I should ask, are we alive? Well, I was just trying to figure out. Somebody was sending angry icons 2-3 times. So I came to know some unwanted being is here. Usually there is no mercy. If somebody comes even little disappointed, I just ban them off. This is not meant for you. Don't hover around here like a bhatakti atma. Sometimes people just want to hover. उनका life agenda ही वो है. That's the life agenda. Nothing else to do for my soul, मेरा मुक्ति कुछ नहीं. जहाँ मुक्त हो रहे वहां भटकूं और कितने लोगों को भटकाऊं, यही काम मेरा. Some people have taken that as their soul agenda. So I always say, do your soul agenda. I'll do my soul agenda. Nobody can stop anybody's soul agenda. Whatever you do, even I cannot stop you. What you do, you continue doing. Sanjay Singh, Bhaiya, when I'm in background of awareness, I simply got the solutions, cause and effect. Yeah, it's very powerful, Sanjay ji. It's very, very powerful. I can't tell you how powerful it is. If we have not put it into practice, we have heard about it, we are impressed about it. That's another story. We have not put it into practice. Oh, Preeti ji are there. Good. We will have a good time in Mumbai. Because one-to-one experiences are something that's very different, very, very different. And that's what we all had experienced in Rishi Gurukulam also. I was looking at the videos. I'll start posting those videos little by little. Rishi Gurukulam videos. Beautiful videos. What beautiful time I had with Manoj, and very nice. And from there only, people had so many experiences. Just that 1.5 day, it was not even 2 day, 1.5 day. उसमें भी कितना हमने बात किया, because we were 50-50% sharing the platforms like Manoj and me, and still so many things happened in just that little time that we got in there. So imagine the power of that awareness is something. If it gives you that realization, it's very, very powerful. Jyoti Pratap, too good. I'm feeling sleepy. Yes, you can see my tone also has gone down just by talking about it. I didn't even do it. The moment I started telling about hearing and all that, my voice settled down. That's how powerful it is. And also, I experience control and not affected by unwanted emotions. Now I have good tolerance. Yes, because unwanted emotions is in the mind. What you talk about not being affected by these is all the mind activities. Who gets affected by what? The mind gets affected by the mind itself. It's very funny, it is. मन ही करता मन ही भोगता. ये उतारना चाहिए अपनी लाइफ जिंदगी में. ये चीज आप उतार लो, इस चीज को. मन ही करता मन ही भोगता सूत्र हर चीज में आप देखो इस चीज को. मन ही करता मन ही भोगता. Whenever you are undergoing, just become aware and see how the mind is only creating the nonsense, and how the mind is only experiencing that pain and or pleasure, and the same mind will justify it also, and the same mind will correct it also. The same mind will find the solutions for it also. Very, very deep it is. The mind is very vast. You will get lost into it. So all the doer practices are very, I find it difficult, because you have to enter into the realm of doing, and there is so much happening there, so much happening there. You can get lost. You'll just get lost into it. So much happening there. Whereas I encourage not to even enter that. Not enter छोड़ो, उसके बारे में ध्यान भी मत दो. Manoj, want to ask you about how we can live 100% spiritual life and 100% worldly life. Means both bhog and moksha. Some practical tips to balance both. This is exactly what I'm telling you here. 100%. I'm not using that terminology or that philosophy, but exactly this is what I'm talking about. What did I say? If whatever work you're doing, you keep doing, but do it in awareness. Awareness is spiritual. The work is worldly. Simple. Your work, what you're saying, the worldly thing is your bhoga, and awareness is your moksha. Moksha means what? Liberating. It is liberating you from the mind. It will not give you the sense of identity there. Whatever you're doing, the doership will go off. Humility will come in. You will see something else is working, and that's how I work. I've shared this many times. That's how I work. I don't use my mind and sit. Anything. I don't want to sit and plan or do anything. It just happens. It takes care. I cannot tell you how mysteriously it takes care. And अभी तक तो इतना guarantee and conviction है कि I don't have to think about it. Everything, including all my travel, everything goes on so perfect because it's taken care of by something. Like even for these events, these things were going on in my mind for a long time. Oh, this is there, it's pending. I have not yet begun working on it. ये भी होना है, ऐसे होना है, ऐसे होना है. And people are telling me about giving whatever help or suggestion. They are trying to help. We can do it this way. You do it this way. And I'm saying, do it this way. Do. I cannot do. That's the thing. And it neither means that I'm going to sit idle because उससे काम नहीं होगा. I'm only saying I do the work, but not guided by my mind. I do work, but I'm not guided by my mind. Because most of the time I live in my awareness, some things happen. Like, for example, I was telling you the other day, I was telling, sir, days are coming near. I have not even put it on my website and what to do and all that. I'm thinking. I was doing something here, and in my mobile, I was doing some image of something, and suddenly I saw that image could be good for the retreat. So I started making banner for that here only, just casually. The three programs that we have, Mumbai and all that. Just I put and all, it came good. I said, yeah, this is good. I just transferred it, put it on the website. It is looking good. Then automatically, without any plans, I saw for the next 2 hours or 3 hours, I was continuously trying to beautify it. Oh, this I put the image here. Now I need to put this detail. And one by one, I put the details. I typed it out, and slowly, those 3-4 events got created on the website. Before I knew, like 2-3 hours, it was done. Whereas I did not sit with an intention to do it. It just happened. And that same evening, every day I go for a walk. This time I went for a walk, and I was walking in isolation there. Nobody is there around. And that time only sun was setting. I said, wow, beautiful. I can use it some way, some video graphics or something. So I took my mobile and was shooting the sun. And while I was shooting, I remembered that song, वही खुदा है जो दिन को रात और रात को दिन बना रहा है वही खुदा है. And when I went into that mode, I lost into awareness. Then I was one with that whole scenario. And I was just recording that video. And while recording, that song came, and the song came, I sang it. Now, no idea to even make that video. It came, and I sang it out. And as soon as I sang that thing out, the first thing that came was about that oneness, the spirit of oneness, and that awareness. And all I could remember was, oh, this I'm going to share anyhow in the coming events. And I started talking about the events. Now, no conditioning, it just happened. For the next 5-10 minutes, I spoke about it. I closed the video and I said, okay, that's good enough. And now I wanted to share that video, only that part of the song. I wanted to put the song. I said, let me cut this out. इवेंट्स का मैंने वैसे से बोला क्योंकि तालमेल ही नहीं है. पहले आप देखो तालमेल ही नहीं उसका. वही खुदा है, I'm singing and then talking about events. Who on earth will do that? What, क्या तालमेल है उसका? Nothing. So I said, I'll just edit that off. I'll take the song. I just wanted to put the song. But then when I was just editing on that, I said, okay, this seems good. Let it go in that. Anyhow, this detail is there. Who's going to sit and do again another video and put up all those events? So हो गया इसका, इसमें detail आ गया. So I put some graphics and वैसे वो video बनाया and I posted it. And when I posted it, feedback started coming in. And when feedback started coming, I had to do something now. I ran to the website and started fixing up the forms and all that night only. And this is how the events happened. So this is what I mean by saying I'm not the doer, I'm not doing it. Awareness, something happens and you just go with the flow. And all those flows are always in the right direction. Everything has happened in my life in that manner. Go with the flow. I had to come from Delhi to here. I went with the flow. No too much of logics and all that. Because divine, whatever thy will be done, whatever that will is. वहां पे फिर और लॉजिक नहीं, ये वो ऐसे वैसे. Even though there was suffering in me, I was not well, and all those, a lot of things had happened, and mind had gone for a toss, and everything was there. Khichdi ho gayi thi, and I was in that state of mind, like nothing. So thin I had become, 44 kg, when I returned from Delhi. So I thought I'm going to die those days. And then 1 year I was visiting all the avduts and staying in Kanjangad Ashram or Tirunamalai. Kanjangad Ashram, Tirunamalai, Ganeshpuri. These 4 5 places Mukam be covered. And most of the time here in this ashram here, in Belgaum. And meeting so many avdutas. That is the time I met Muji, Mohanji, Avdut Siddhappa thrice, and then Anna Maharaj thrice again. Same visits, everything happened, and only Avdutas and this somewhere, and Amma, Devi Amma I met during that time in Bangalore. As though all was like supposed to happen, and things happened. So many things happened. In that, Siddhappaji gave me one papaya, and I was sick for another 30 days. My God, that papaya was, God knows what it was. Some rigid, something was happening, some deep things were happening, and I had no clue. I was just going with the flow. Mara to mara, jiya to jiya. Because what option भी क्या है? It was going in that manner. उसमें एक visit में अवधूत सिद्धप्पा hit me twice with his hand. Twice on the same visit. Things changed after that. Anna Maharaj, I met him once, drastically changed after that. Drastically. Remember, he had put a forehead, tika on my forehead, and patted me lovingly, and I was in the most horrible kind of situations of life. Given up everything, all doership, nothing to ask, no one to beg, nothing. It was like, if you keep me alive, keep me. If you want to take me, take me. I have nothing else to do, because no other agenda in life. No other agenda. If you have agenda, then you have all those tensions. है ही नहीं, और कुछ पाने का लालच नहीं है, कुछ खोने का गम नहीं है. So in that state, what will you do? Go with the. And I was moving. 1 year I moved around. Hardly lived at home. But those two experiences are very profound. The avduts that I had, and these ashrams, and then meeting Mohanji twice, Muji, out of the blue, God knows. Tiruvannamalai, that too. And in Usha hotel. And the way he held my hands and prayed for me, I was in tears. And I know this is not just a coincidence. I know for sure. The Divine Lord takes care of everything. Who all it has to send, it will send. What all it has to do, it will do. It will guide, protect, it will do everything. We have not learned how to give out our surrender to that one. Sometimes life takes us to such extremes that you have no other option but to surrender. So that is also a gift. So you cannot curse life there. It's like a gift, it's like a boon. That is why whenever I see anybody suffering, I say, "Sober, good. I've been through all this. All the most horrible things I've been through. Mental trauma, the mental agony, the emotional agonies, how much months and years it took to heal. I'm still not healed in certain aspects. You might see that. You will notice it. And that's okay with me. I'm not in a hurry. But I know. So whatever life does to you, it's for good. So Manoj, that is what I was actually talking about. Same thing, living in the world and yet not of it. That is what, according to me, is 100% spiritual and 100% worldly. Because what my co-brothers always looked at, 100% worldly and 100% spiritual, I didn't see anyone following that. I don't see even now following it. If you want, you can come and debate in front of me. I'll tell you. Even if you believe you are doing it, you're not doing it. Even the best of people who believe they're doing it, they're not doing it. Because the catch is when you're in the world, people get lost in the world. They don't know when they've got immersed in the world. And what they talk spiritual is that 1 hour of closed door meditation, 1 or 2 hours, or sometimes 45 minutes or half an hour. That is what they call as 100% as spiritual. It is 2% spiritual then, according to the ratio if you see. 98% worldly, 2% spiritual. Whereas the master gave the sutra of 100% worldly and 100% spiritual, he also gave the sutra that can tie this philosophy to yogas kuru karman. I don't know if I had the opportunity to represent his teachings. I don't know, it can be represented in fabulous ways because the master's teachings are gems. Unfortunately, it was not represented properly or demonstrated properly, or the tattva was not brought out very properly. But those tattvas have saved me. It gave me a lot of learning in my life. What I learned from my guru, the tattvas, because I had fallen in love with his teachings only. I went to him only because of those teachings. Lovely teachings. So if you ask me any of his teachings, I can extract and give you the minutest of things into that. Dissect it and, you know, properly can bring out that essence of what the teaching is. Like this, I'm telling you, everybody thinks it's like 100%. They're living thoda bahut kar lo kuch to meditation. It's not that way. We are beings of the world, worldly beings. We are doers, and we are doing everything, all the activities we are doing. So we are automatically worldly. There is no need to be even 100% worldly. You do not even bring that tattva. By default, you are worldly. Only thing now, what you are 100% you are worldly only. Any doubt in that? Check it out and see. 100% without anybody. You don't need lessons for that. You don't need a coach for that to teach you how to be worldly. We are by default worldly. So that's 100% worldly anyway. The only thing now, adding 100% spirituality is the main thing. That cannot come with 1 hour here, 1 hour there, little gap here, little gap, one bhajan there, one bhajan here, you know, or one bhajan today and one bhajan next week, one event this time. It doesn't come that way. Consistency is not there. 100% means every moment. In the worldly activities, you are in that tattva. If you see, Gurudev taught yogas kuru karmani. If you bring that tattva into this, it will fix properly. Yogas karmani is kuru karmani is always being in a state of connectedness, and that always being state in a connectedness is what I'm teaching here. Is nothing but this awareness. This is yogas kuru karmani. You are in always alignment with the truth, your awareness, your soul, consciousness. And if you are 24/7 in awareness, if you learn that, you have become a 100% spiritual being. 100% worldly to ho hi aap, and that we are continuing living in this world. Who is living? Nobody is living anything. We are doing all our responsibility. Automatically it becomes 100% worldly, 100% spiritual. I wish I had the opportunity to teach this properly. It would have done wonders to people to understand these tattvas. Right now it's very dry, philosophical. पल्ले भी नहीं पड़ता है कि, और ऐसा बहुत होता है कि ऐसे एक फीलिंग आता है कि ओ आई नो वी आर डूइंग दैट, नॉट रियली. Mega Singh, Bhaiya, those angry emoticons happened by me unintentionally. I was multitasking. Sorry about that. Oh, I was trying to. Good. I didn't find you. Otherwise, accidentally, I would have, unintentionally, I would have banned you. No problem. 3-4 आए, बीच में भी आए हैं पहले भी लाइव में 1-2 बार. I didn't know who that, but today it was coming continuously. 3 बार unintentionally, कोई बात नहीं. So here Deepa Mehta is saying doership and conditioning are weakening, but got many jolts to realize this. Yes, लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते हैं, यही है. We need jolts, and I'm talking about my jolts that I got. ये लात तो पढ़नी ही थी. Jyoti Pratap, yes भैया, many times it's happened to me too. I went with the flow and things were there on place. Definitely, it will all happen. It will all fall in place. But whatever we say, this path needs a lot of courage. हल्के पुल्के लोगों से होगा नहीं. This is not for the faint hearted. ये जितने भी आप बैठ के सुनते भी हो ना, इसमें मंथन जितना होता है ना, मंथन के लिए हिम्मत चाहिए. मंथन होने के लिए हिम्मत चाहिए. You need guts. And those who have guts only will go. इसके पार जाएंगे. बाकी सब देख लेना, उधर ही लटके पटके रहेंगे और उधर ही समझते रहेंगे कि हो रहा है, बहुत कुछ हो रहा है. और आश्वासन भी उनको मिलता रहेगा, आप हो रहे हो, कुछ हो रहा है आपके साथ. और वो होने के भाव के लिए कुछ तो कुछ करते बैठेंगे हम लोग, just to feel that. That is what I want here. Be very careful. When I say we are unconsciously doing, reading all the books, reading this, reading that, it's the same thing that's happening. Because we are having this feeling that, oh, something is happening in life. कुछ तो हो रहा है, स्पिरिचुअलिटी चल रही है. स्पिरिचुअलिटी तब चलती है जब बोध आए और आप सजग होना सीखते रहो. How will you measure whether you are progressing on this awareness? Just see the level of awareness that you are carrying every time. Just see how much time you get upset, how many time you are getting worried especially. Upset हो ना हो वो तो कम हो सकता है, लेकिन worry जो है, the more the worry, the more you are in the mind. It's a straight indication. The more no smiles, the more the straight indication. One more tip I can give you on simple ways of shifting into awareness. Beautiful. I I do it. I do all these practices actually. I was doing this earlier very much. One is smile. The moment you realize that you've got a frown on your face, your face has become very serious. बैठते बैठते ही आपको बोध हो जाता है. Why am I so serious? The moment you become aware that you are serious, know that you are in your mind. Some deep thoughts, something is going on. Suddenly you will become aware, oh, I am in deep thoughts. And that moment to cut out that, smile. Don't even think anything, just smile. Smile genuinely to yourself without a race. Suddenly you will see an awareness shifting. Suddenly that feeling of that grogginess, एक feeling होता है ना, हम लोग बहुत देर ऐसे ही कुछ सोचते बैठे तो we are deep. You look at people, they'll be like this thoughtful and lost in it. It can go for hours also if you don't notice it. If you are alone, you can be in that state and not even knowing that you are gone into that state. But suddenly if you become aware of it, instead of saying, why am I doing this? See, I was every time this happens to me. Again, I've gone into it. Why am I brooding it? This is again mind games, which is justifying all this. Don't get into that. Don't question why, how, go depress or hit yourself and say. Immediately, what you do is one thing to shift into awareness. I say shift into awareness. Don't even stay in your mind. The moment you're sitting like this, suddenly you become aware. Just smile to yourself genuinely. Suddenly you will move out from the mind and you are in a different that awareness zone. And then when the smile breaks that mode, shift into awareness. Suddenly what anything you might do, shift into any part of your body or shift into the koshas or shift or just have this peripheral vision or hearing. Suddenly today's videos tips are very powerful and very important. They might look like chota chota, it's not. I proved it to you here. We just did a small 2 minutes kind of connecting to awareness, and you saw suddenly you feel sleepy, suddenly you feel drowsy, suddenly the changes happen. So these are all those chota chota cheeze, small things. That is why I named this today's event as simple ways of shifting into awareness. And this much if you do, it's more than enough. You don't need to do any major practices of what I've shared in many other times. some meditations and all that. You don't need to go so deep also. I'm telling you, if you just practice these things only and you just become aware, you suddenly will start becoming meditative. And there are times you can just zonk off. I go, I go very strongly into meditation with these things. If I'm doing work, I have to just be grossly connected. Because if I'm not grossly connected and if I just space out, I'll sometimes not know that I've gone off for 15-20 minutes. And when I come out only, I come to know it's 15-20 minutes of gone. And sometimes it's so horrible that I have to keep all the work aside and just close my eyes and sit. For 1 or 2 hours it goes on then. Can't do anything. How to develop that courage, bhaiya? Courage for what? Oh, you mean the guts that I said to facing yourself? That's your courage. You face who you truly are without running away, without any mask, without judging yourself, without excusing yourself, without justifying yourself. All that nautanki, watch that. When you find there is a flaw, look at it, stare at it, and accept it and acknowledge it for yourself. Don't acknowledge to anybody else, just yourself. That's the guts I mean. अरे वो ही नहीं है लोगों के पास. गट्स मीन्स ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि तलवार लेके चलो या दादागिरी करो या हुल दो किसी को. Guts just means this, just able to withstand your own flaws. Because only when you withstand your own flaws or look at it only, it will shatter. Otherwise, it will not shatter. You will be sitting like a hippopotamus in the water, thinking everything is fine. कोई तो प्रकट होगा और दर्शन देंगे आपको और वरदान देंगे आपको. आलसियों की जमात हो जाएगी. ऑलरेडी ऐसा जमात है, जम गया. सब बैठे हैं होप्स में. होप्स भी दिलाया जा रहा है और होप्स में जिंदगी निकल जाएगी. उसमें एक फीलिंग आएगा बस, आई एम डूइंग समथिंग, दैट्स ऑल. बेनिफिट उतना ही है. बीन देयर डन दैट. एक फीलिंग है बस, समथिंग इज हैपनिंग. एंड हु इज दैट हैविंग दैट फीलिंग? द ईगो. जो करता है ना, करता करता पुष्ट होता है उसमें और करते को बहुत अच्छा लगता है. आज कुछ किया हमने, आज जाके सेवा किया हमने. अरे सेवा किया तो कौन सा तीर मारा है इसमें? वो बोलने की या सोचने की भी क्या जरूरत है उसमें? इससे अच्छा तो सेवा ना करो कि वो सोच भी आ रही है कि मैंने सेवा की. आज आज का भजन संकीर्तन हो गया मेरा, आज का भजन हो गया, कल भजन करेंगे, अगले संडे सब मिलके भजन करेंगे. क्या भज रहे हो वहां पे? भज क्या रहा है? भजन मीन्स भजना. एक मैकेनिकल रिट्रीट है वो, एक गेट टुगेदर है. वही वासना. डिस्कोटेक में पहले जाते थे, म्यूजिक बजता था, हम नाचते थे, झूमते थे. अब नहीं, अभी अभी तो हम आध्यात्मिक हो गए, अभी बहुत स्पिरिचुअल हो गए. वासना तो है, तो चलो भजन संकीर्तन करते हैं. वहां भी वही है, डोलना जुलना. भीतर का बहुत का. राम का बहुत किधर? राम नाम तो लेते हैं लेकिन घमंड से लेते हैं. ये दिखाने के लिए लेते हैं कि हम कुछ है, हमारे कुछ है. वो राम नहीं है. राम का तत्व किधर है? राम की चेतना किधर है हमारे में? इसलिए वो बोले, भला हुआ मोरी माला टूटी, भला हुआ मोरी माला टूटी, मैं राम भजन से छूटी, मोरे सर से टली बला. दिस इज द एग्जैक्ट मीनिंग ऑफ दैट. जो भी कर रहे हैं मीनिंगफुली करो या नहीं करो, क्योंकि वो ना करने के बराबर है. वो सब वासनाओं में तुलना की जाती है उसकी. एक नया वासना हो जाएगा बस. और वो वासना ही आपको रोकेगा फिर, नई आदत लग जाएगी आपको फिर। आदत तो आदत है। ओशो ने कहा है, वेरी ब्यूटीफुली सेड, देयर इज नथिंग अबाउट कॉल्ड एज बैड हैबिट्स, क्योंकि गुड हैबिट भी हैबिट ही है, एंड ऑल हैबिट्स आर बैड। हैबिट तो वही है ना, अटका हुआ है, कंडीशनिंग है। तो गुड हैबिट भी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, अच्छी आदतें, बुरी आदत नाम की चीज नहीं है, क्योंकि आदत तो आदत है। अच्छी आदत भी बोला तो वो अच्छी भी आदत ही है, और आदत बुरी चीज है। कोई भी आदत जो मैकेनिकल होता है, विदाउट आपका परमिशन होता है, दैट इज आदत। विदाउट परमिशन मतलब विदाउट आपकी जागरूकता, कुछ तो अंदर से आपकी वासना करा रही है। उसलिए तो कबीर साहब ने बोला कि भला हुआ मेरी गगरी टूटी, मैं पनिया भरन से छूटी रे, मोरे सर से बली टली बला। भला हुआ मोरी माला टूटी, मैं राम भजन से छूटी रे, वो फॉर्मेलिटी। यही भजन की बात कर रहा हूँ, जो हम बजते हैं। बजता बहुत है, बल्कि भजता कोई नहीं है। बजता बहुत है वहां पे, भजता कोई नहीं है। और भजन का मीनिंग है भजना, रमना, उसके साथ एक रमना चाहिए। उसी प्रकार से हर एक काम जो हम कर रहे हैं रमना चाहिए, दैट इज योग कर्मण, एक तत्व बहुत उसके साथ, जिसके साथ रमे, जो राम अंदर हमारा जपना हो गया, अंदर स्वयं राम ही प्रकट हो गया, उसको काहे का भजना। भजना तो फिर द्वैत में आ गया, जब राम ही स्वयं अंदर से भजे। जैसे मीरा जी ने बोला, श्वासादि माला, श्वास सांसों की माला में सिमरू मैं तेरा नाम, हर श्वास में तेरा नाम सिमरू। आप माले की क्या जरूरत है, माला छोड़ दी मैंने, हर श्वास में अभी माला का जप हो रहा है, श्वास के भीतर रम गया मेरा कृष्ण। मेरे पी बोलते थे, पिया, माय बिलवड कृष्णा इज वन विथ माय ब्रेथ। वन विथ माय ब्रेथ बोला तो कुछ बचा नहीं, और क्योंकि सांस ही आप जिंदा, आपकी जिंदगी तो आपकी सांस है, और वो आपके सांस बन गई, जो आपके परमात्मा है। जो आपके श्वास में रमता है उसको, और मुख से रम के राम भजन से छूटी, सर से टली बला। प्रेम की माला जपते जपते आप बनी मैं शाम, प्रेम की माला जपते जपते आप बनी मैं श्याम, मतलब आई बिकम कृष्णा हिमसेल्फ। क्या बचा फिर उधर। सच्चा भजन यही है, सच्चा कीर्तन, सच्चा संकीर्तन यही है। लेकिन हम क्या करते हैं, वो बोला है, हमको करने के लिए बोला है, तो करो, कुछ भी करो, इस मकसद से करने को बोला है। क्योंकि मेरे गुरु जो है ना, उनके तत्व सब यही है। वो भी जब गाते थे तो वो रमते थे इसमें, रम के एक होके। उनके गाने सुनो, उनके भजन सुनो, और बाकियों के सुनो, आपको पता चल जाएगा कितने बोध में है, कितने कॉन्शियसनेस, कितने रम गए उसके अंदर। वो तप की निशानी है। तप इसको कहते हैं, तप तप के एक बन गए उनके साथ। बाकी हमारा सब ढोंग है। Anita ji, awareness about the presence in us can be one of the practices. Yes, why not? Awareness of the presence is what I'm going to teach there in Tiruvannamalai experientially. Of course, यहाँ पे भी है वो syllabus, because वो program का नाम ही मैंने वो रखा है, living in presence, inward journey of awareness, living in your own presence। ये 12 मार्च का जो प्रोग्राम है, संडे का वेबिनार, वो उसी पर है, living in your presence. But वो still we can have a little bit of experience, but that can be enhanced further in Tiruvannamalai, because वो जो है ना वहाँ पे अरुणाचला, वो ही एक प्रेजेंस है। शिव का प्रेजेंस आपको अगर फील करना है, एक्सपीरियंस करना है, वो जागृत स्थान है, दैट प्रेजेंस। और सोचो आप बैठ के आपके प्रेजेंस प्रैक्टिस करते जा रहे हो, प्रैक्टिस करते जा रहे हो, आपका प्रेजेंस यानी आपका आत्मन। अब आत्मन, यहाँ आपका प्रेजेंस आप फील कर रहे हो और एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो आत्मन को। और जब आप जाओगे अरुणाचला, वहां बैठे हैं परमात्मन, परमात्मन का प्रेजेंस वहां, आत्मन और परमात्मन का मिलन। और क्या बताऊं, इट्स डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस ऑल टुगेदर, वेरी डीप। अरुणाचला इज वेरी डीप, इट इज मेंट फॉर डीप सीकर्स। तो उससे पहले अगर आप तिरुवन्नामलाई भी, जो कोई भी जाता हो, मेरे वीडियोस भी देख के बहुत लोग जा रहे हैं अभी, बहुत लोग। क्योंकि अब मैं जब भी वहां जाऊं कोई तो पहचान का मिलता है, उसमें पता चलता है बहुत जा रहा है। और वहाँ अशोक भाई से भी वहाँ मुझे अपडेट्स आते रहते हैं कि अभी ये आए, ये आने वाले हैं। और कोई कोई आप लोग भी मुझे भेजते हो, मैं उधर इधर भेजते रहता हूँ। तो बहुत लोग जा रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है। शायद वही उनकी आज्ञा है कि कुछ ना कुछ माध्यम से वो बुला लेते हैं वहां पे। तो लेकिन मैं कह रहा हूँ अगर आप जाओगे वहां तत्व बोध के साथ, वहाँ अच्छा कुछ अलग ही होगा। ये प्रैक्टिस अगर आप कर, क्योंकि ये व्हाट शिफ्टिंग इनटू अवेयरनेस जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, इट इज नथिंग बट सेल्फ अवेयरनेस। रमण, पूरा रमण तत्व है ये जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ। आई एम जस्ट यूजिंग माई ओन टर्मिनोलॉजी, बट वॉट इज हिडन इन इट इज ऑल रमण महर्षि जी, उनकी ग्रेस, उनकी कृपा। पता नहीं कब क्या कैसे हो गया, लेकिन मैंने पहचान लिया ये वहीं का है, अरुणाचल का ही है। इंक्लूडिंग ऑल माई रिट्रीट्स ऑल्सो, बिकॉज सारे वहां से शुरू हुए। जब अरुणाचला में बैठता था, ये रिट्रीट शुरू होता था, एक के बाद एक फोन उधर ही आते थे, वहीं डिसीजंस होता था, सब कुछ होता था। ये थोड़ा समय लगा मुझे, 1 साल लगा समझने को कि अच्छा ये ऐसे हो रहा था। एंड वन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, आज आज ही आई रिमेम्बर्ड, बिकॉज आई वॉज गोइंग फॉर माई वॉक एंड आई वॉज सजग हो, एक टाइप ऑफ वॉइस इज देयर, and I became, and I remembered suddenly to my first Tiruvannamalai visit. This was back in 2009. फर्स्ट टाइम आई हैड गॉन टू तिरुवन्नामलाई। कोई तो लेके गए थे हम लोग, चलो जाएंगे बोल के। और इतनी शोर थी, बहुत बड़ी टोली थी हमारी, 10-12 of us were there and all noisy people. Noisy means noisy. कोई भजन गाता है जोर से, इतना जोर से गाता है कि भजन गाने का आपका नाम ना ले बाद में, मूड चला जाए कभी। वो उसको भजन समझते थे, इतने जोर से चीख के कुछ भी गाओ, मतलब ऐसे ही। और दिखाने के लिए उसको सारा आता है, कोई शिव तांडव गा रहा है, कोई क्या गा रहे थे, बाय हार्ट है दिखाने के लिए। इतना परेशान हो गया मैं। फर्स्ट डे कुछ भी नहीं हुआ। हम लोग रमण आश्रम से नीचे एक बहुत बड़ा एक बिल्डिंग है, वो बिल्डिंग के ऊपर हमको रूम नहीं मिला, वो टेरेस के पास जो भी एक दो कमरे मिले थे वो मिल गए, बाकी थोड़े टेरेस पे सोए, ऐसा था फर्स्ट विजिट मेरा। तो उस समय एक फ्रेंड था उसमें, आई रिमेम्बर हिज नेम, पुनीत। ही वाज फ्रॉम बैंगलोर, कहाँ है अभी पता नहीं। ही वाज अ फिल्म प्रोड्यूसर, यंग गाय, ऑलमोस्ट हमारा ही एज का। तो ही वाज देयर विद मी, ही वाज द ओनली वन सीरियस गाय, बाकी सब अपने इसमें। तो सुबह उठ के चलो हिल पे जाना है, हम हिल पे जाके देखेंगे क्या एक्सपीरियंस है, फर्स्ट टाइम जा रहा हूँ। तो सुबह 6 o'clock उठ के सब निकलने का प्लान था। कहाँ 7, 7:30 बजे है तो भी कोई उठा नहीं। 6 बजे से हम लोग रेडी रुके हैं, मैं और पुनीत। और इनको बुला रहे हैं, वो उधर से जा रहा है, एक कमरा यहाँ से ब्रश लेके उधर जा रहा है, एक टॉवल लेके इधर नहाने जा रहा है, कोई उधर बात कर रहा है, कोई लैपटॉप लेके बैठा है। आई वाज सो फड अप, आई सेड मैं जा रहा हूँ। आई टुक अप माई थिंग्स एंड जस्ट वॉकड ऑफ, एंड पुनीत सेड मैं भी आ रहा हूँ भैया चलो। I said चलो विल गो। वी बोथ वेंट। रमणाश्रम के पीछे से हम लोग गए, हिल चढ़ने को शुरू किए। फर्स्ट टाइम वी डोंट नो एनीथिंग एंड आई एम फीलिंग ये तो कुछ तो रहेगा, कुछ तो रहेगा, समथिंग इज देयर हियर, सच अ ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस। वो ये पड़ा था, वो था, ये था। और फिर हम बात करते जा रहे हैं, बात करते जा रहे हैं। बात वही क्या, कंप्लेनिंग। ये जो मैं अभी कंप्लेन कर रहा था, वो उधर मैं कर रहा था कि क्या लोग हैं, किसके साथ आ गए यार, क्यों आ गए इनके साथ, ये कोई सीरियस नहीं है, क्या चल रहा है, एक दिन पूरा वेस्ट किया, आज भी पूरा दिन यही खाने पीने में, पूरा दिन खाते पीते बैठो। हाथ में जब भी देखो चिवड़ा होता था, कोई ये होता था, कोई पराठा रोल करके खा रहा है, कोई जैम लगा के खा रहा है, कोई बिस्किट, उसमें एक आंटी थी, वो उसकी बैग इतनी बड़ी, उसके अंदर बिस्किट्स का भरा हुआ सब कुछ, उसमें मिक्सचर है, सब कुछ है। और वो बैग लेके हमारे साथ चलती थी, और वो बैग उठाने के लिए उसको नहीं होता था। फिर उनको उठाओ एक आदमी या बैग को उठाओ, ऐसी परिस्थिति आ जाती। फिर पूरा ग्रुप बट के उनके बैग उठाने में लगो, तू नहीं मैं नहीं, और वो बुढ़िया वो संभाल भी नहीं पा रही। मुसीबत में बोला, अरे क्यों लेके घूम रहे हो आप आंटी, रख के आओ रूम में, क्यों लेके जा रहे हो? नहीं नहीं नहीं, आई वांट टू फीड माई चिल्ड्रन एट दिस एक्सपेंस। अब किसको खाना है, वो थोड़ी पिकनिक, और मुझे भी मालूम नहीं वो ऐसा लग रहा था कोई पदयात्रा, कोई ऊपर माउंटेन चढ़ रहे, कोई पिकनिक ट्रिप हो रही है, और बीच में, और ये लोग रुक भी जाते थे, चढ़ो थोड़ा, एक 15 मिनट चलो और बैठ जाओ पत्थर पे। और वो भी ऐसे ही नहीं बैठते, आसन फैलाओ, चद्दर फैलाओ, कोई ऐसे नारायण के अवतार में सो गए पत्थर पे, कोई पेड़ के साइड में जाके बैठा है, कोई पानी का ये उतार के पानी पी रहा है, कोई चिवड़ा निकाल रहा है, बातें हो रही है, जोक्स हो रही है, हा हा हू चल रहा है, बातें ही खत्म नहीं हो रही है, खाना भी खत्म नहीं हो रहा है। और ये पूरा भी नहीं, एटलीस्ट 3 बार होता था पूरा हिल चढ़ने तक, 3 पार्टी। ऐसे सिचुएशन में उनको बोलता था मत लेके आओ बैग, फिर भी लेके आती थी। फिर आधे रास्ते में, हाय उठाया नहीं जा रहा, इतना वजन हो रहा है, और आंटी पीछे, बाकी सब आगे, आंटी चलो ना जल्दी, अरे वजन बहुत है। फिर कोई जाके उनका बैग ले लो, फिर वो बैग लेने के बाद तू पकड़ मैं पकड़, अरे यार कहाँ फंस गया बोलता। उस दिन मैंने, सच्ची बोल रहा हूँ, अरुणाचल वो हिल के पास ही बैठ के बोला, इसके बाद आई विल नेवर ट्रेवल विद अ ग्रुप। और शायद वहीं का संकल्प है, पूरा हो गया वो। सो फिड अप। और किसी को बुकिंग करना है, किसी का बुकिंग नहीं हुआ है, किसी को परसों जाना है, किसी को कल जाना है, किसी का टिकट कैंसिलेशन हो गया, किसी का रिकन्फर्म नहीं हुआ है, और सारा दिन कोई एक वहाँ लैपटॉप लेके बैठा है, वही चल रहा है उसका पूरा दिन। हाँ तेरा हुआ टिकट, इसका नहीं हुआ, हाँ, तुम्हारा हो गया, वो होना था, इधर हो गया, वो एजेंट था, उसको कमीशन भी आते थे, वो एक अलग चल रहा है उधर, तो सारा टेंशन उसका ही है। आने से पहले टेंशन ये था कि पहुंचेंगे कब, टिकट कैसी होगी, रास्ता ये, रूम कब मिलेगा, सब उसके अंदर। और वो सब मिलने के बाद आप जाएंगे कब, एग्जिट कब करेंगे, चेकआउट कब करेंगे, आश्रम कब जाएंगे, और खरीदेंगे कब कुछ कुछ चीजें जो तमिलनाडु फर्स्ट विजिट किए थे, वो भी तो खरीदना है, कांचीपुरम साड़ियां हैं, वो कहाँ मिलेगा। अरे बाप रे, बोला मैं कहाँ आ गया मैं। तो खैर, उस दिन मैंने कसम खाई, और कसम कब खाई वो भी बोलता हूँ। नेक्स्ट डे था, फाइनल डे था, और टाइम बहुत कम था, पहाड़ के ऊपर जाके आना था। तो हम लोग पहाड़ के ऊपर चले। आंटी जी को बोल रहा हूँ, आंटी जी आप, आपके चप्पल वगैरह जो है संभाल के रखो आपके पास। अब ये चप्पल पहन के आ गई, आधा पहाड़ भी नहीं चढ़ा था, उनको चढ़ा नहीं जा रहा, रॉक्स थे उधर। तो रॉक्स थे, तो उन्होंने क्या कर दी, चप्पल उतार के रखी एक साइड में रखी, और वो चलने लगे। वो बोले आते समय हम ले लेंगे इस चप्पल को, बहुत हर्ट हो रहा है मुझे। और नए चप्पल आंटी के, बहुत अटैच्ड उनके साथ, और था भी बहुत बढ़िया था, अभी भी याद है मुझे। पत्थर के पास रखे और हम चले गए ऊपर। अब ऊपर जाके हम आते समय हम दूसरे रास्ते से नीचे आ गए, किसी को बोध नहीं उसके बारे में, आंटी जी को भी बोध नहीं है कि उनकी चप्पल वहां रखी, भूल गई, वो अवेयरनेस में नहीं थी। तो वहां से उतर के आई, उतर के हम नीचे मंदिर के पास आए, तब वो कह रही है मेरी चप्पल वहां है। अब सब लोग बोल रहे हैं अब क्या करें? नो, आई वांट माय चप्पल, आई विल गो एंड गेट इट। तो कहाँ जाके लेंगे? आधा पहाड़ उस तरफ। तो वहां से फिर ऑटो से इधर आया रमणाश्रम के पास। रमणाश्रम से अब सब लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं अब क्या करें इनका चप्पल। आंटी बोल रही मेरी कॉस्टली चप्पल मुझे चाहिए ही चाहिए। सब बोल रहे आपको बोला था पहले ही ये मत करो उधर, अब क्या करें? फिर कोई जाने को तैयार नहीं। फिर वो बोल रहे बेटा आप ले हो ना, किसी भी तरह से ले आओ। कोई नहीं जा रहा। फिर मैं और पुनीत फिर गए। और हम जब गए, हम हमारी चप्पल रमणाश्रम में छूटा। हम बोले कि जल्दी जाके आएंगे। अब सुबह हम लोग गए थे वहां पे, सुबह गए थे, ठंडा था। अब दोपहर का टाइम, 1 बजे का टाइम, 1 क्या 1:30 बजा था। अब हम जा रहे नंगे पैर उसी, अब मालूम नहीं है ना, पहाड़ फर्स्ट टाइम गए। तो दोपहर को चलते जा रहे हैं, इतना पाँव भजने लग गया नीचे से। बाप रे, आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर चटके। फिर घास में गए तो काटे। ऐसे तैसे करके वो चप्पल लेके आए नीचे। वहां बैठ के मैंने प्रण लिया, इसके बाद नहीं किसी ग्रुप के साथ नहीं जाऊंगा, जाऊंगा तो अकेला ही जाऊंगा। और वो सिद्ध हो गया। ओके, मेन थिंग आई वांटेड टू टेल यू वाज, वही विजिट में हम लोग सुबह ऐसे निकले, मैं और पुनीत निकले। और पीछे के रास्ते से हम चल रहे थे। तो चलते 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 मेरी लेस छूट गई। तो आई जस्ट बेंड डाउन एंड आई वाज टाइंग माय लेस। व्हेन आई वाज टाइंग माय लेस आई हर्ड माय गुरु's वॉइस, सजग हो। I don't know what it was, but Sajag. And the moment Sajag ho, he said, because I had practiced this in during the shivers that I used to go. ये एक ही चीज मैं उनका तत्व में पकड़ता था जो सजगता के बारे में बात करते। Very less used to talk about it, but I used to catch that because somehow in that awareness only I had a deep connection with him in the shivers, and I would experiment with it, and he used to respond. जब आगे कहीं टाइम है तो मैं शेयर करूंगा all those experiments and how through my awareness only I used to send message to him or try all this kind of nonsense I used to do there in the शिविर। यही था मेरा पूरा। and he used to respond। एक नहीं दो नहीं सैकड़ों बार हुआ है ऐसे, जैसे कि उनको पता चल रहा है कि किस दिशा से कोई क्या कर रहा है। और कभी कभी एक्नॉलेज करते थे, उसमें हल्की सी स्माइल भी देते थे। तो मुझे पता था ये काम करता है। तो ये सजगता वाली बड़ी चीज मेरी अंदर जहन में पहले से ही थी। तो वन शिविर हो गया था उसके बाद ये तिरुवन्नामलाई से ना मैं शूज बांध रहा हूँ, लेस बांध रहा हूँ, एंड आई हियर सजग हो। एंड द मोमेंट आई हर्ड दैट आई बिकेम सजग, द सेम जो शिविर में होता था। एंड देन आई टाइड माई लेस एंड आई वाज नॉट द सेम। तब तक तो हम बातें करते आ रहे थे और माई फ्रेंड पुनीत चलते जा रहा हूँ, मैं लेस बांधा। बट आई सडनली बिकेम साइलेंट। हम दोनों बात करते जा रहे थे। ही वॉज प्रिपेयरिंग अ न्यू मूवी, वो खत्म होने को आया था, कन्नड़ा मूवी। ही वॉज डिस्कसिंग अबाउट दैट। तो जैसे ही लेस बांध के आई कॉट अप विद हिम, मैंने देखा मेरा मूवमेंट स्लो हो गया, ग्रेसफुल, बात ही नहीं निकल रही है मन से, because suddenly I had spread my awareness. And then he was telling me something. I said, Puneet, let's not talk for some time. I just have this kind of a feeling that we have to become just aware, conscious. He also didn't understand, but then he said something must be serious. He also quite. उसके बाद दोनों ने बात नहीं की। उसके बाद हम दोनों चलते गए बिना बात किए। And the kind of experience I was having was different. मैं नहीं बोलूंगा कुछ बड़ा हुआ, बट परम शांति थी एंड एक ब्लिसफुलनेस था। टायर्डनेस बिल्कुल नहीं था। एंड आई वाज गोइंग वॉकिंग थ्रू दोस ट्रीज एंड ऑल दैट। आई रिमेम्बर, बात ही नहीं कर रहे हम लोग। एक साधु मिले, वहां बैठे थे, कौन था पता नहीं। मैं और पुनीत बैठ गए, बैठ के उसके साथ बात करने लग गए। देन ही स्टार्टेड टेलिंग अस कि ये अग्नि तत्व है। उन्होंने पूरा बताया क्या है, पूरा एक्सप्लेन किया उन्होंने। और उन्होंने बताया यहाँ पे वो केव्स है, वहां पे जरूर जाना, यहाँ पे ये जाना, इसका ये इंपॉर्टेंस है, उसका इंपॉर्टेंस है, एवरीथिंग इज शेयर्ड। तब तक जो सोए हुए गैंग थी हमारी, जो अभी तक उठे नहीं थे, जिनको हम पीछे छोड़ आए थे, तो आधा पौना घंटा तो यही हुआ बात करते करते, वो आ गए टीम। मैं बोला धत तेरी फिर वो भी आके बैठे स्वामी जी के साथ, वो थोड़ा बात किए, फिर हम साथ में चले, फिर एक साथ। फिर जब हम ऊपर चढ़ रहे थे, मैं बोला मैं बात नहीं करना चाह रहा, साइलेंस में रहना चाह रहा हूँ। तो उन्होंने छोड़ दिया मुझे, मैंने मेरे अपने हाल पे वो चलने लग गए। वो चलते गए, मैं पीछे पीछे चलता। फिर गए ऊपर, बहुत सारा एक्सपीरियंस वगैरह अच्छा हुआ। फिर हम उतरने के टाइम, मैंने बोला ना दूसरे साइड से हम उतर रहे थे। फिर फर्स्ट टाइम कुछ पता नहीं, जा रहे जा रहे जा रहे, चलते जा रहे हैं, सीधे उतरते जा रहे हैं, और मैं और मेरा फ्रेंड आगे, वो सब पीछे केला खाते आ रहे हैं, कोई बंदर के साथ खेल रहा है, कोई कुछ कुछ चल रहा है उधर। हम दोनों चल रहे हैं। दो लड़के आए छोटे छोटे, ये मैंने मेरे फर्स्ट ब्लॉग में लिखा है, ये सब है उसमें, वो दो लड़कों का फोटोज और ये सब एक्सपीरियंस है। 2009 या 2010 में दो लड़के आए, छोटे छोटे, एक 7 साल के होंगे, 6-7 साल के, भाई भाई दिख रहे थे, डार्क थे, मेरे ऐसे डार्क स्किन। तो आए, और हम सीधे वैसे जा रहे थे, वो आके तमिल में मुझे बोला, अन्ना अन्ना ब्रदर, सेड उधर जाओ। आई सेड उधर किधर? अब जाओ उधर, उधर जाओ, खुला है, जाओ। उधर क्या है? इनसे वाह, सेड कम। और वो चलने लगे, दोनों बच्चे, हाथ में लकड़ियां थी उनके, कुछ खेल रहे थे वो। करते करते वो अंदर लेके गए, एक दरवाजा खुला था, अंदर लेके गए। वो नमः शिवाय गुहे का जीव समाधि था। मुझे तब तक पता ही नहीं था। वो थोड़ा विरूपाक्षी केव से नीचे आप उतरोगे, अलग दिशा में आपको थोड़ी नीचे ही मिलेगा, लेकिन हम तो नीचे उतर के पहाड़ के नीचे जा रहे थे, लेकिन ये बच्चे आए दो और बोले वहां जाओ, और खुद लेके गए अंदर। वहां गया, फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम आई हैड अ वेरी वेरी फैंटास्टिक एक्सपीरियंस। वो गुहा है और अंधेरा है, अंदर लाइट भी नहीं जलती, एक छोटा दिया जलता है, अंदर लाइट नहीं जलाते। नमः शिवाय बोल के एक बहुत बड़े सिद्ध महात्मा थे, बहुत बड़े सिद्ध महात्मा। वो अन्नमलैयर के साथ उनका तुलना की जाती है, मतलब शिव, भगवान शिव के साथ। वो कहते हैं कि वो वार्तालाप करते थे शिव के साथ, उस तरह के। उन्होंने जीव समाधि ली, उनके शिष्य भी जीव समाधि उसी गुफा में ली, वो मुझे पता नहीं था। तो फर्स्ट टाइम गए, मुझे कुछ पता नहीं, गीला गीला अंधेरा दिख भी नहीं रहा, एक शिवलिंग दिख रहा है, और एक पंडित जी थे जो वहां पूजा कर रहे थे। तो मैंने मत्था टेका, पूरा गीला था जमीन नीचे, और हम निकल रहे थे। तो अचानक मैंने पूछा, हम बैठ सकते क्या? वो बोले नहीं, कोई अलाउड नहीं यहाँ पे बैठना। फिर मैं वही खड़ा रहा, ऊपर सर प्लस ऑलमोस्ट, और केव टच हो रहा था। फिर अचानक टूट पड़ा मैं एकदम, रोना जोर से आया। क्यों रोया कोई आज तक मुझे पता नहीं, बहुत जोर जोर से। फिर मैंने कर्चीफ दबा ली अपने मुंह पे, और काफी देर वहां घुट घुट के रोया। क्या हुआ पता नहीं। फिर उसके बाद बाहर आए, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल एक्सपीरियंस। फिर मैं जानकारी ढूंढनी शुरू कर दी, ये कौन है, क्या है, देन आई रेड अबाउट नमः शिवाय। तो मुझे मालूम पड़ा ये तो जागृत एक जीवित समाधि है किसी का। तो उसने बुलाया, पता चला। अब ये बच्चे कौन है मुझे पता नहीं। तो वो खड़े थे बाहर। फिर मैंने उनको बोला, आप कौन हो? बोले हम यहीं रहते हैं। कहाँ से? कुछ नहीं बोल रहे थे। नाम क्या है? तो एक ने बोला शिवा। दूसरे को पूछा, इसका नाम क्या है? वो बोला शक्ति। बोला अरे वाह, दोनों भाई और शिवा और शक्ति। उतना ही बोले वो टाटा करके भाग रहे थे। वो बोले जाते समय और एक गुफा है वो साइड में, वहां जाके बैठना। ठीक है बोले। दोनों को चॉकलेट से, हमारे पास कुछ पैसे थे, दे दिया। वो भाग गए, कहाँ गए पता नहीं। फिर उसके बाद नीचे से उतरे, और रमण महर्षि जी का एक दूसरा एक गुफा था, और उसके साइड में पापा जी का भी एक था, स्वामी रामदास, जो कांजंगड़ के हैं। आनंद आश्रम आपने सुना होगा कांजंगड़ का, वहां के। उनको आत्म साक्षात्कार उसी केव में हुआ था। और रमण जी का गुफा था, लेकिन उसमें कई साल वो बैठ के, उस उनको पूरा आत्म साक्षात्कार उसी में हुआ, स्वामी रामदास को, जो पापा जी बोलते हैं कांजंगड़ के। और वो बहुत बड़े एक महात्मा थे। तो उनका आत्म साक्षात्कार के बाद वो कांजंगड़ गए थे। वो भगवान नित्यानंद को भी मिले हैं। भगवान नित्यानंद ने भी उनको ब्लेस किया उनके आश्रम में, कांजंगड़ में ही। और वो उस आश्रम में रहते थे। उनका एक शिष्य थी माता जी। और अगर आप योगी राम सूरत जी को पहचानते हैं, वो एक बड़े अवधूत थे। वो पापा रामदास के पास जाके बैठते थे, और पापा रामदास ने कई साल उनको वहां रखा, योगी राम सूरत जी को वहां रखो, कान्हागढ़ में। उसके बाद जब उनको लगा कि अब समय हो गया, तो रामदास स्वामी जी ने भेज दिया उनको। बोले आप जाओ, तिरुवണ്ണामलई जाओ, और आपका कार्य करो जो करना है। फिर वो तिरुवन्नमलाई आए और फिर वहाँ घूमे, फिर वो बहुत सारे चीजें हुई। फिर उसके बाद उनका देह छोड़ने के बाद योगी राम सूरत कुमार आश्रम जो आज है वो वहीं से है। तो ये सब लिंक्ड है कंटिन्यूसली, ये सब पूरा लिंक है। देखो स्वामी रामदास देखो कहाँ के, कांजंगाड़ के, उधर गए कांजंगाड़, भगवान नित्यानंद से कनेक्टेड, इट्स ऑल कनेक्टेड, डीप कनेक्शन। हम लोग, मैं 4-5 बार गया हूँ आनंद आश्रम में कांजंगाड़ में। अगर आप कांजंगाड़ जाते हो तो जरूर जाना वहाँ पे। बहुत अच्छे तरह से उनका संकीर्तन, मंत्र जाप बहुत सुंदर तरीके से करते हैं, और आश्रम भी बहुत भव्य है। अभी उनके 2-3 जनरेशन के बाद का जो उनकी समाधि भी सब उतरी है। और पापा रामदास बहुत पहुंचे हुए थे उस टाइम। अगर आप गणेशन जानते हैं, गणेशन जी, वो रमण महर्षि जी के साथ रहे हैं बचपन में, उनसे रिलेटेड भी है, उनके फैमिली में ही है। रमण महर्षि के ब्रदर के भाई के बेटे ऐसे कुछ है, मुझे एग्जैक्टली पता नहीं। तो उन्होंने कई सारे बुक्स भी लिखे हैं, अगर आप देखेंगे गणेशन बोल के उनका नाम मिलेगा आपको रमण महर्षि पे। रमणाश्रम में उनकी बुक्स है, तो वो अभी भी जीवित है, वो वही है। आजकल थोड़े उनका तबीयत उतना ही नहीं है और ज्यादा मिलते भी नहीं है। मेरे ख्याल से कन्नू भाई आप मिल के आए उनको, कन्नू भाई और उमा जी आप मिल के आए थे, अपने फोटो भेजा। तो वो भी जब किताबें लिखते थे और वो अपने ध्यान साधना में जो भी सेल्फ इंक्वायरी का जो प्रैक्टिस करते थे, रमण तत्व का वगैरह, तब वो रामदास जी के पास गए थे, यही कांजंगाड़ के। तो रामदास जी ने उनको बताया, एक चीज याद रखना, उनकी उपदेश था उनके लिए, गणेशन जी को, एक चीज याद रखना, आपको बहुत सारे लोग आके बोलेंगे कि आप रमणा महर्षि के फैमिली से हो, तो आप भी पहुंच गए हो वहां पे, कभी ये गलती नहीं करना। सबको कमाई अपनी करनी पड़ती है, कोई भी विरासत में आत्म साक्षात्कार या आत्मबोध किसी को नहीं मिलता। कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि आप ब्लड रिलेशन हो तो आपको वो हो गया है। संभल के रहना इस चीज को, क्योंकि सब आपको वही समझेंगे। उसके बाद वो उन्होंने पूरा विड्रॉ कर लिया गणेशन जी, उन्होंने उस चीज का पालन किया। तो ये विवरण उनके एक बुक में ही लिखा है गणेशन जी का। मेरे ख्याल से बहुत समय हो गया। Hill climbing brings one automatically in awareness if not done frequently before. I mean, if hill climbing not done before. Kanu RIP is what I'm practicing. Rest in presence. अच्छा वर्ड ढूंढ निकाला आपने, रेस्ट इन प्रेजेंस। क्रिश्चियनिटी में इसको कब्र पे डालते हैं, रेस्ट इन पीस, RIP। तो ये भी है, मरना ही है। बीइंग इन अवेयरनेस इज मर जाना, आपका अस्तित्व ही मर जाता है। वो जो मैं है वो मर जाता है, शरीर बहुत चला जाता है। तो इट इज एज गुड एज रेस्ट इन पीस। रेस्ट इन प्रेजेंस इज रेस्ट इन पीस। बहुत अच्छा टर्मिनोलॉजी है कन्नू भाई, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल। एंड प्रेजेंस इज गारंटीड एंड नोज रेस्ट इन पीस इज देयर और नॉट, बट दिस इज गारंटीड। रेस्ट इन पीस आ ही जाता है, यू गेट इन पीस, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल। तो दिस एक्चुअली स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम देयर, ये जो अवेयरनेस का। एंड आई डोंट नो, आई हैव नो आइडिया अबाउट इट। ये मैं लास्ट वीक ही सोच रहा था, मैं भूल गया था एपिसोड। सडनली मैं कुछ तो याद करते करते सडनली मुझे याद है, अरे ये तो मेरा फर्स्ट विजिट में यही हुआ था, सजग हो, गुरु का आवाज सुना। फिर मैंने पुनीत को बोला, फिर हम चले सजगता में और पूरा हिल में वो सब हुआ एक्सपीरियंसेस। वो स्वामी जी मिले, उन्होंने एक्सप्लेन किया, उन्होंने डायरेक्ट किया हमको यहाँ वहाँ जाओ, फिर उसके सब निर्देशन के हिसाब से हम वहाँ गए। वहां से उतर के हम नीचे जा रहे थे मंदिर की तरफ, जो उन्होंने बोला वहां से मंदिर जाओ, जा रहे थे। लेकिन वो 2 बच्चे आए, हमको वहां गाइड किए, अंदर लेके गए, वो एक्सपीरियंस हुआ। उसके बाद वो रमणा जी और पापा जी का केव्स दिखाया, वहां से गायब हो गए, कहाँ तो भाग गए वो बच्चे दोनों। और भी एक बहुत सुंदर एक्सपीरियंस हुआ था। हम यही ग्रुप के साथ आ रहे थे, ये शिव शक्ति मिलने से पहले हम उतरते आ रहे थे, हाँ मिलने के बाद, इसके बाद ये केव के बाद हम चलते जा रहे हैं, नीचे 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 जा रहे हैं। तो मैं और पुनीत आगे चल रहे थे, पुनीत मेरे पीछे था, तो मैं एकदम आगे आगे लकड़ी लेके हम लोग मूव करते चल रहे हैं, तो बाकी पूरी टोली ऐसे ही पीछे है। तो व्हेन आई वाज गोइंग डाउन, सडनली अ मैन केम, थिन मैन, योगी कपड़े पहने थे, भगवा कलर का था। सडनली ऐसे चेहरे के सामने आके खड़े हो गए। नीचे से ऊपर जा रहे थे वो, और मैं ऊपर से नीचे आ रहा था। मैं कुछ ऐसे देखते-देखते आ रहा था, अचानक रुक गया मैं। ही वाज़ टॉल, ही वाज़ थिन, एंड इतना नज़दीक उनका मुँह था, एकदम आके रुके। मैं पीछे हो गया और मुझे समझ नहीं आया क्या करूँ इनको? तभी तो ये सब पता भी नहीं था ज़्यादा, क्योंकि उनकी आँखों में बड़ी चमक थी और उनके लिप्स अभी भी मुझे याद है, होठ पिंक लिप्स थे उनके, पिंक लिप्स, ये गाल सब पिंक-पिंक एकदम, दाढ़ी-वाढ़ी थी एकदम सफ़ेद टाइप की, पतले से गहरी आँख और बहुत बढ़िया एक सुंदर मुस्कान। एकदम ऐसे लग रहा था कि वो प्रसन्न होके हँस रहे हैं एकदम से। तो वो चेहरा मेरे सामने आया वैसे से, तो मैं क्या करना मुझे समझ में नहीं आया। तो वही बोलने शुरू कर दिए। वो बोले, "मैं ऊपर जा रहा हूँ, मेरा घर है ऊपर।" मैंने ऊपर देखा, ऊपर कौन-सा घर है? वो दिख रहा पता है वहाँ पे आपको? गुफ़ा। मैं देखा वहाँ पे, हाँ, वो गुफ़ा हम वहीं से आए हैं। मैं वहाँ रहता हूँ। हाँ, मैंने पूछा उनको, "आप कहाँ रहते हैं?" उन्होंने बोला, "मैं वहाँ रहता हूँ, मैं घर जा रहा हूँ वापस।" तो वो गुफ़ा जो उन्होंने बताई, वो तो स्कंदाश्रम था। स्कंदाश्रम और विरूपाक्षी गुफ़ा दोनों उधर ही है। तो वो जो नीचे से दिख रहा था, वही गुफ़ा था और कोई गुफ़ा नहीं है वहाँ पे। तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि वहाँ कौन रह सकता है, और वो तो रमणाश्रम का प्रॉपर्टी है, वहाँ कोई नहीं रह सकता। उस टाइम पे इतना सब पता नहीं चला। इतने फ़ास्ट बोले उस चीज़ को, और फिर वो देखते खड़े रह गए और मुझे क्या करना समझ में नहीं आया। आई शुड हैव टच्ड हिज फीट, आई शुड हैव सेड सम नमस्कार, समथिंग, कुछ नहीं। बिफोर आई कुड रियलाइज़, मैं पीछे मुड़ के देखा पुनीत को, और पुनीत को पुकारने की कोशिश कर रहा था, यहाँ आओ, कोई तो स्वामी आए, ऐसे बोलने के लिए पीछे मुड़ के देखा, ये चले गए मेरे सामने से। विदिन अ सेकंड, तब मुझे पता चला, अरे क्या होना था। मैंने बात भी नहीं की इनसे, एक नमस्कार तो बोल दिया होता। मैंने सोचा उनको दौड़ के जाके एक चरण स्पर्श तो करूं, लेकिन वो इतनी तेजी से चले, पतले से। मैं देख रहा था वो चलते 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 फास्ट चले गए। हाथ में एक डंडा भी था उनका। तो ये सारे एक्सपीरियंस, एंड दैट वाज सम मिस्टिकल बीइंग, आई डोंट नो हु इट वाज, कि वो कौन आके बताएगा, मैं वहां रहता हूँ। एंड वो गुफा में, स्कंदाश्रम का, वहां पे विरूपाक्षी गुफा है और स्कंदाश्रम का गुफा है। आई डोंट नो व्हाट ही मेंट बाय हु वाज दैट, आई डोंट नो, बट उनके चेहरे में इतनी अभी भी ऐसे गड़ा हुआ है प्रिंट, दैट फेस, दैट स्माइल, दैट teeth, these gums all pink like, and that दाढ़ी वाइट वाला, और इतनी प्यारी मुस्कान, तेज था चेहरे पे, सम मिस्टिकल बीइंग, आई डोंट नो। तो ये सब फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस में ही हुआ था। कब हुआ था? जब ये अंदर से एक बोध हो गया, सजग हो, जैसे गुरु की वाणी आई हो, और वहां से हुआ वो। ये सब चीजें इंसिडेंट ही मैं भूल गया था। एक्चुअली आई हैव रिटन दिस, इफ यू वांट यू कैन क्रॉस कंफर्म एंड सी, 2009 में वो आर्टिकल में लिखा है मैंने, लेकिन मुझे पता नहीं था। टुडे वेयर आई कम एंड स्टैंड हियर, और अभी मैं मुड़ के देखता हूँ, क्योंकि तभी मैं सोचा भी नहीं था कि मैं इतने बार वहां जाऊंगा, ये सब जो एक्टिविटीज है वहां होगा, कभी सोचा नहीं था। तो कुछ तो शुरुआत थी उस चीज का। अभी मैं जब देख रहा हूँ मुड़ के, तो मैं बोलता हूँ, अरे ये तो सजगता से ही शुरू हुई। तिरुवन्नामलाई का ट्रिप ही उससे शुरू हुआ था, अवेयरनेस से। कुछ होगा, आई डोंट नो। सो आई थिंक आज बहुत लेट हो गया। सॉरी, मैं अपना स्टोरी बोलते बैठ गया, खो गया इसमें। लेकिन आज का सेशन थोड़ा सॉफ्ट था, सेटल्ड था। बट इफ यू जस्ट फॉलो दिस सिंपल सिंपल मेथड्स, यू कैन कनेक्ट टू एनी गॉड दैट यू आर फीलिंग टू। एंड कनेक्ट मीन्स, आई डोंट मीन उनका दर्शन वर्शन का हो, द्वैत नहीं, वन होना। वो शिव को जो आप दृष्टि में देखने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, उसके साथ एक होना, द्वंद ना रहे, आप और उसमें भेद ना रहे, कंप्लीटली अभेद हो जाए, because that is the purpose of merging with God consciousness, being one with it. फिर उसके बाद वननेस का भी एक भाव अपने आप आना शुरू हो जाएगा। प्रीति जी, यू आर स्टिल हियर, गुड, नाइस टू सी यू। टुडे इज व्हाट? टुडे इज 25th, ओके, सैटरडे है आज, ओ गॉड, ओ सैटरडे हैज बिगन, ठीक है, कल संडे है मतलब। तो फिर आज शायद ना हो, सैटरडे का दिन नाइट सेशन ना हो, क्योंकि आई हैव गॉट लॉन्ग पर्सनल कंसल्टेशन टुडे सैटरडे. I'll be lost in that, and tomorrow maybe Sunday है, तो I'll come and do my regular live. संजीता जी, stay blessed. टीना जी, मीरा जी, वसंता जी, प्रीति जी, all of you stay blessed. दीपा जी, ज्योति जी, रेखा जी, अनिता जी, आशा जी. I'm glad to do it, Asha ji, Anita ji. I'm glad to do it because we are all destined to be doing this. Everything is seems like predestined. I'm very, very glad and blessed to be able to do this. All grace of Arunachala. Gurudev's mercy, Guru Mandala's mercy, Avadhuta Chintan, Sri Gurudev Datta. Okay, Kanu bhai. See you then. Malaji, good night then. Shubhratri, much divine love and light to all of you. Stay blessed. May we all evolve, may we all be free. Bye.